Showtime!
Hey, look at that.
Hello, wonderful people. This Sports Dynasty presents the AFC East Shakedown.
I know it's not where you usually see it, but hey, we're doing something different this year. We're going to be rotating out of every single content creator's channel this year. We got it this time.
Yes.
All right.
For those who are new here, my name is Trevor, and this is Juan, and we welcome you to the AFC Shakedown. How you feeling today?
I'm all right, but let's get the guys in here.
Yes, get the guys in here.
So here's Mr. Originator right here, and Tommy of Mafia Sports Report.
What up, fellas? And I am glad to be doing this with you finally on the Sports Dynasty podcast. We are officially into week 1 now.
Yes, of course.
Yes, sir.
Yes, definitely. We finally made it.
Yeah, we got some. We're pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of fun talking about what you want to talk about. I'm sure.
Yes,
which I'm sure you already went through on the Mafia Sports Report already. Go find check that out.
Man.
All right, here we go. Here's Captain D of the Miami Dolphins. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on. I'm happy to be here.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. I mean, you're an enemy, but I mean, that's what we're not doing. And we have a fourth. And it's not the usual 4 or 5 that we had last season. We actually have a Jets guy. A Jets guy.
Yes.
A Jets guy.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Let's get him on right now. Oh, Mr. Long Beach Joe, representing the New York Jets today. How are you doing?
Salutes. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's having a good one. I'm excited to be here talking about this, these Jets. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So the floor is going to be yours for now because you are brand new in this show. So why don't you introduce yourself? Talk about what you love about New York Jets. How about you tell us your favorite game, favorite moment, your most hated moment, and just a little bit about you.
Yeah. So again, I want to thank everybody and salutes to everybody on the panel. You Dynasty, Tommy, Captain D. Salutes to everybody watching as well. My name is Long Beach Joe. I'm a big Jets fan. I grew up on the West Coast. For those of you that don't know. I lived on the West Coast my entire life. So I became a Jets fan actually watching the Monday Night Miracle when we came back and beat the Dolphins. And that was the first game I'd ever watched as far as like a football game, a full game. And I remember watching the game from the beginning. I was like, man, this team sucks. Like they're just getting destroyed right now. Like what is going on? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching them. And then all of a sudden the comeback started. And I'll never forget, Jason Taylor was just giving it to Jets fans, just making fun of people and all the stuff on the sidelines. And then the Jets just found their way back into the game and eventually won it. And I was shocked and amazed because, again, I grew up, Long Beach. I was a big basketball player and, big Laker fan, still a big Laker fan. We winning them things. You know what I'm saying? We got them rings. You know what I'm saying? We got them rings. I don't want to, bring all that up. I know y'all. A lot of people ain't won as much as we've been winning. You know what I'm saying? It may hurt y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I don't mean to bring that up. LeBron and AD.
We got
so many rings. My cup runneth over. I'm sick of winning myself. I'm wondering when is somebody else gonna start, doing what we doing? Anywho, you know what I'm saying? Not to, I'm gonna remain humble on that side. But so I where I grew up, it was either you're a basketball guy, you're a football guy. You don't kind of intermingle between the two. So when I watched that game, it was just, I was like, man, I got to follow this team. And I continued to follow them. And that's how I fell in love with football, through the Jets. And, continued to follow the team, continued to watch. And, Vinny Testaverde, Chad Pennington, John Abraham, Lavernius Coles, Anthony Beck, Victor Green, Brian Cox, Aaron Glenn, all those guys, Herman Edwards, all those guys just continued to, I was just watching as I was growing up and I was young, and I just, built my love for the team. And then I started doing content for them as well. Was on a show and then left that show, started my own show, which is a Long Beach Joe show. You can type in Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, put out content for the team. Also do a live
in the description below.
Okay, salutes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do a live radio show. Again, the number to my live radio show is 515-602-9639. 602-9639. I take live callers. We talk about the team. We talk about the game.
I know what you do that. I'll put it on the screen right now.
So I do that. We have a lot of fun doing that. Usually my shows are either Tuesdays or Fridays. My schedule is crazy, as everyone knows, but I try to put that together. We do a weekly show, and we discuss that. We also do live watch-alongs as well. So we watch the game together when my schedule allows, which I'll actually be doing tomorrow. And we do a live radio show directly after the game. So you're going to get all the hot takes. The only thing I do not allow on my show is cursing. Do not call on my show cursing. I will get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than we got Adam Gaze out of here. I got to get you out of here. I got to get you out of here.
Gotcha. Keep it PG.
Yeah. It's a family show, okay? But if you don't, agree with me or whatever, let's go back and forth, have a respectful discussion. So that's what I do, and I have a lot of fun doing that. I also game as well, so you might catch me playing Madden, Street Fighter, NBA 2K on my channel too. So I connect with my audience doing that way, and we have a lot of fun. We talk about life, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I do a lot of different things, and I have a lot of fun with the time that I'm allowed to do those things. And I love this football team, so that's what I do, and that's what I'm all about.
My man is all types of multi-skills. Talk about gaming, basketball, football. Woo, we talking about the professional in my hands today.
Oh, also for anyone that wants to check me on social media too, Facebook, it's The Long Beach Joe Show. Hit that follow page, and on Twitter as well, it's at The Long Beach Joe. At The Long Beach Joe is the show's page. At YoungJ000 is my personal Twitter. Follow me, I'll follow you right back. Let's go back and forth.
Wonderful news. I love it.
That's great.
And that is Mr. Long Beach Joe, everybody. You're going to see a lot more of him, I hope.
Yeah.
So let's get the show started, shall we?
Yes.
So believe it or not, we had a game on Thursday.
Yes.
It may have not been much of one, but there was a game. Believe it or not. I mean, yeah. So let's just go straight to it, right? We got the Bills going to the, I guess, defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, taking a 21-point beat down on national TV on the same day that Queen Elizabeth died. I don't know if there's any correlation there, but we may have seen 2 deaths in one day. I'm not sure. But that's what happened. So let's just go over it. Why don't we start? We're going to leave Tommy last because it was his game to go over, and I'm sure he already has all his notes in his head. So let's start off with Captain D. You saw the game, man?
I did watch the game, and I'm not surprised. I thought it would be a little bit closer, but as the first half was unfolding, even though it went into the half 10-10, during that half, you could tell that there was clearly some missing pieces on the Rams side, and there was a glaring difference between the Bills and the Rams, and that Bills defensive front with Von Miller was just looking absolutely nasty, and it wasn't looking good. But hey, the turnovers made a big difference, and it was 10-10 going into half, and I'm like, hey, I mean, this is going to be a ball game. But there were some adjustments made, and the Bills came out in the third quarter and they did their thing. So salute to the Bills for the first game.
Way to put that.
Yeah.
I like it. How about you, Long Beach?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I thought that the game was, going into the half, I thought, wow, I thought the Bills should have been up by quite a bit more. There were some miscues and some mistakes, right? We saw that. But you could clearly see that this Bills front, and I talked to people about this during the offseason, especially with them getting Von Miller. I think the Bills had 7 sacks total on the day, right? Mm-hmm. It's like they already had a good pass rush. They already had that. And then you add a guy like Von, who, of course, he's not, Von when he was 22, but he's still really good. This is still a very solid veteran edge rusher that could be around for quite a bit of time for them. And when you add that to what already is a bunch of pressure, you're going to give so many teams in this league issues. It's going to be ridiculous. And that's exactly what they did. They were just all over Stafford. It was so tough for him to get any time to even think about what to do. There was nowhere to go with the ball because anytime he tried to throw the football, there was a bill in his face constantly. He was getting hit constantly. And that's the type of problems that they're going to bring in. And not just because they have Von Miller and the athletes. No, because the coaching was there. You could clearly see McDermott's one of the better coaches in the league. He schemes up well, does everything well, puts things together. But the thing that I think was a bit more surprising to me was the Bills' offense, especially after the half, really turned it up and did well too. I think Stephon Diggs ended the day with I think it was 122 yards or something like that. He looked really good. Ramsey was getting cooked. Oh my goodness. He was getting cooked. So when you see them doing things like that to Jalen is, if not the best corner in the league, he clearly is, top one of the best. And so when you see things like that happening, I think they become even more scary. The Bills are they're very well put together. And even though I'm a Jets fan and I talk about this constantly with other Jets fans, the Bills have built correctly. That's, if you look exactly what they did was what we should have done a couple years ago with McCagnon. They invested in the pass rush. They invested in their offensive line to help Josh Allen along. Josh Allen was not very good until he got solid, proper protection, and then he was able, through coaching, to take steps forward with McDermott and their, offensive coordinators helped him out again. And everything's worked out. They've also surrounded him with weapons too. The running game solid. So the Bills, handle business. And again, this just may be that kind of Super Bowl haze that a lot of teams go through as well when they try to come off of those situations. We all know that, teams that make that far march, sometimes they come back and they just don't look the same for the first couple of weeks. That may be what happened with the Rams. Maybe this is tape you just got to go burn and never look at it again. But the Bills looked very, very good, especially after the adjustments. And that's what, makes them a team that people are constantly talking about pushing and making those playoff runs and possibly being Super Bowl contenders.
I like that you talked about how to build, because there may be a question like that popping up later in the show after you finish this review. So I love your foreshadowing. It might be a little psyche. We might have a psyche here too. You got something to say?
Yeah, I have something to say. First things first, welcome back, football. Thank goodness. We're finally back.
Oh, yeah, amen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna be like Christmas all over again. Christmas before Christmas comes. So I'm happy about that. That being said, from the opening period of the game, even though the score was tied at 10 at the halftime, you can tell that the Bills were in full control of this game. At one point of the first quarter, they had 10 straight completions, like literally just dotting up the defense, did whatever they wanted. Gabriel Davis was incredible.
His only incompletion was that interception because Isaiah McKenzie forgot how to bring in the ball.
Yes. Which Bills fans, I went after him for that, which I thought was dumb. Like,
I did. I destroyed him.
Nah. Anyway, continue. So yeah, Gabriel Davis had an incredible game. Stephon Diggs, if you guys had them on fantasy, good for you. But for the most part, yeah, it pretty much showed that they were in control the entire game. To me, the bad taste that from their mouths when they lost to Kansas City in the playoff. I know they were thinking about that, and they were thinking how we're gonna make a statement against the Super Bowl champions, because I do feel that Bills fans feel that they should have been there last year. So they probably wanted to make a statement right there saying we're not going anywhere. And I thought it was really cool. And Juan and Tommy knows how big I am on Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. I even had him starting on my
all 22
draft.
Yeah,
all 22 draft. Yeah, I had him. He's my franchise quarterback. That's why.
Also, good start.
So so great start to that. So it was a good overall. Like I said, Long Beach said about for the tape that the Rams just burn it and try again. You know what I'm saying? This happens. But ain't no shame in that. But other than that, kudos to the Bills without it.
I just have bad things to say about the Rams, but I'll save that for our show on Monday. The Bills, I mean, if they look like this now, I can't wait to see how they look in January. So, like I say, mind you, there was some bad turnovers. That easily gets erased. They cleaned up. You know what I mean? So it's week 1. Damn. Tommy, take the floor, man.
Yeah, I told you guys. I predicted 34-16. I was really
I forgot to say that. Right
before
he did it, and then before the game, he texted me. He was like, "Watch, I'm telling you, he squared the score, and he was close."
The problem was it all started with the Rams' offensive line, and I knew that was going to be a problem. I told you guys that the Rams were going to try to run a little bit, and then they were going to be forced to pass most of the game, which they did. Stafford, I believe, led the league or was tied with interceptions last season. So he's known to, turn the ball over. right? Especially when there's pressure. So I knew we were going to pressure him with 4 all night, which we're going to probably do all season, and drop back the rest. So Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds, they're super smart linebackers. They're always in the right place. And the turnovers, yeah, like this game could have been really bad. Like this game should have been in the 40s. And the only touchdown drive they had was on a terrible kickoff by Tyler Bass, which is super rare. He doesn't do that. And they started at their own 40. So that was the only drive that they scored a touchdown. So if you imagine, like, we gave him that first touchdown in a way, then we had a turnover by James Cook, which he never touched the ball again after. Welcome to the NFL, rookie. Now that happens. Zach Moss later on in the fourth quarter, which we'll get to later, whatever. And the bobble by McKenzie, he winded up making up for it for a touchdown later in the game. So listen, we cleaned up our act going into the second half, and that's one thing that Dable had problems with, as far as I'm concerned. He was terrible at in-game adjustments. Awful. He never knew how to change his system, change the play calling. He just stuck with what he was going to stick with going into it. He's going to ride it out. Dorsey, he changed up things. If you watch that game, the second half was totally different. Also, Josh Allen got rid of the ball in 2.2 seconds. I mean, the whole night. So he never gave Aaron Donald. He never gave him a chance. Donald had 1 sack, and I think Wagner had 1. They had 2 total sacks. That was it. Josh Allen, that game plan was basically to get the ball out quick, 4 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards, and then go deep when they're bringing the heat. And that's exactly what they did on the 2 big touchdowns, or the 1 big touchdown to Diggs, and the Gabriel Davis deep ball that almost was a touchdown. Once again, they had no safety back. They were coming in with all blitz. So overall, what you saw was nothing. I really believe Dorsey, as the season goes, is going to really start to dial it up on offense. But yeah, we're looking dangerous, man. Our defense is really what teams need to worry about. I mean, our offense is dangerous. We already know that. But our defense is, and imagine, Christian Benford started over our first-round pick, Kyer Elam, and he played. Listen, he didn't play perfectly, no doubt, but I thought he held his own. I'll be honest with you. I thought his tackling was pretty good. He's going against one of the, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL.
That's what I'm about to say. I mean, Cooper Kupp is a demon.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So listen, 100, whatever he had, 100 and something. Listen, I'll take it. They scored 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown. It's all good. He'll get better and better, and so will Elam. So, and then Trey White will be back in probably mid-season. So it's really getting looking nasty. And by the way, too, Jordan Phillips, man, like that dude, for some reason he plays great in Buffalo. He plays really good in Buffalo. For a big guy, he moves very well, man. And I love his energy. So, yeah, the D-line is just looking nasty, guys.
Yeah, so that's the review. Kind of looked like a glorified preseason game. I'm not gonna lie, at least from one side. So let's just get out of this by doing our usual awards that we do in the show. We have the 4 awards: Boo This Man, Styling and Profiling, What's Up With That, and the Epic Rant of the Week. However, we are in a different channel now, and I may or may have changed a few of these, just to fit a little bit of the Sports Dynasty style, So we're going to start with what used to be Boo This Man, and it is now.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The old brother, this guy stinks award. So we already know what all this means. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory at this point. So why don't we start with Captain D, because he's been quiet for it feels like half an hour.
Now, are we basing this off of the Buffalo? Can we base it off?
Yeah, of the game. Yeah, because there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna. I don't know if we were doing some preseason or but I'm gonna boo Cam Akers. I mean, he. A lot of guys had him starting in their fantasy lineups. I looked at some of the tapes, and he couldn't pick up the blitz if to save his life, and he looked like he wanted no part of it. And don't get me wrong, I don't blame him for what he was seeing coming at him in front of him, but that's your job. and he did a horrible job at it. He looked like he wanted no part of that. So boo Cam Akers, and he upset a lot of fantasy football owners week 1.
Yeah, and betters too. Long Beach.
Yeah,
So the worst player basically of the game.
D literally stole it again. I was honestly, I could go with the Rams' entire running game. I mean, I think they had like maybe just 50 yards on the ground total. You cannot do that against the Bills and expect to get yourself a W. You have to make them more honest, and you have to be a bit more balanced offensively. Honestly, we could boo the offensive line as well. You gave up 7 sacks. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is there. But I'll go with Cam on that one. I mean, he was just out of it. It just looked ridiculous out there.
For me, my boy Jalen Ramsey, sit down, my boy. I have to talk to you real quick, my friend. First of all, you was getting dotted up, all night. Especially it makes it worse because everyone remembers the comments you made about Josh Allen when he got drafted, saying he's a bum.
I like you mentioned that. I like that.
A bum, and every single time you play against this man. Or making this man, he dots you up and makes you eat those words. Mm-hmm. You're one of the best corners in the league. We know there's no doubt about that. You're getting paid like one, but rightfully deserved. But please put some respect on Josh Allen's name. I apologize. This whatever, man. But
you don't have a damn choice.
Yes, because it's gonna happen again. You keep disrespecting this man. But other than that, yes, Jalen Ramsey, you stink, my brother.
Pretty bad.
That was bad.
For me, I'm going to go with the offensive line of the Rams, but not just them. To me, it's specifically, I forget if it's the left guard or the center position. Because even though No Boom got schooled by Von Miller, they actually, believe it or not, were going back and forth. It's just that when Von Miller won, he won bad. That was the difference. But in the interior line, the left guard and the center position, for some reason, Ed Oliver was making them look like a bunch of pansies all game. That's where my eyes was the whole time. It was embarrassing watching that. And I'm just like, Matthew Stafford has no shot, man. Like, as bad as, because he didn't have a good game himself when he finally had some protection. But at the interior, man, the left guard or center, one of those two, I think his number was 76. I forget what, but Ed Oliver was making them look real bad, like they didn't belong in the league. It was pathetic. Tommy,
I don't have much. I'm going to go with the idiot that ran onto the field with the pink, like I don't know what the hell that thing was, the smoke bomb or whatever. Like, when will these fans learn? Stop doing like I just don't get it, man. Like, what was the purpose of that? And how are they letting some guy in with some smoke bomby thing? Like, where was the security? Honestly, where's security with that? That guy get in with a smoke bomb thing? Like, bruh, if that was by like the player, so he would have got smashed, bro. Like, a defensive player might have smashed him, bro. So, or even an offensive player. So, especially carrying something on the field, they don't know what the hell that dude had in his hand initially. So, yeah, boo that guy, retard, for doing that.
My girlfriend posted that. Posted that video on in our group, and I commented it was probably a gender reveal gone wrong. They wanted to say, "Oh, well, it's a girl," and completely wrong. Well, that was terrible.
Right? Yeah.
Probably should have ended up in jail.
Probably did.
It's California. What are they
gonna happen? We won't go there, man. This is not the type of show.
Gotcha.
So the next award would usually be the Stalin and Profile. I can't really find something to replace that because it's the legendary Ric Flair.
Of course.
But I have something in this generation that might be decent. If anybody watches wrestling now.
Brooklyn! Acknowledge me!
We have the Acknowledge Me award. All right? Basically,
I like
best player. Best player. I'm almost ready, though, to take out Josh Allen because that's kind of easy. So how about no one says Josh Allen? And let's pick somebody else. And let's change it. Let's go with Long Beach. Best player in the field that's not named Josh Allen.
Man, I'm sorry. Von Miller is unbelievable. Like, he's just unbelievable. And if you watched that game and you saw the impact, and I know we could talk about Ed Oliver and just the defensive line in general for the Bills. The fact that they could get pressure without blitzing at all, really, which is unbelievable in this league, a passing league where you have to be able to rush the passer. Von Miller still looks really good, and he's a guy that, with the added pressure with him, I just don't. You better be ready to block, because if you can't, you're gonna get destroyed. So that's the guy I think is styling and profiling. If we're not talking about, Josh Allen, I mean, man, he makes it very, very easy with a guy that can bend, get around the edge, and rush the passer the way he do. So I'm going with Von Miller.
All right, no problem. How about you, Tommy? It should be easy.
Gabe Davis, because I can't pick Josh. I'm going to go Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis, man, I'm telling you, he's going to be a problem moving forward. He's only getting better. It seems like he got like a little bit faster as well. And man, he's a big physical and getting speed, dangerous receiver out there. And then you got to worry about Gabe Davis. And now you got to worry about Crowder, who's also, man, Crowder, I know I'm getting off topic, but he was just in the right place every time, man. He really was when we needed it. And that's what Crowder's done his whole career. Yeah. But anyways, Gabe Davis is, man, we're going to have to pay him. He's going to earn, I'm telling you, he's going to get 1,000 yards this season. I would be shocked if he doesn't. He's that type of player. And yeah, man, Brandon Beane, another great draft pick. I think he was a third round. Really a steal of a draft pick, the way his career is looking. So yeah, Gabe Davis.
All right, Captain.
Tommy stole my thunder. I was going Gabe Davis too, but I think I got to give kudos to the whole defensive line of the Buffalo Bills. Gregory Rousseau, Von Miller, Boogie Basham was getting in there. There was passes being battened down. It was insane, and it was a full takeover in LA. That was rough to watch, especially coming back there, celebrating and their Super Bowl and opening up banners and hanging them, and then the Bills' defensive line is like, "Hello." So I'm going to give it to the Bills' defensive line.
All right, cool. Me, I'm going to give a little bit of love to Devin Singletary. He didn't have to carry the rock all that much, but I thought all carrying vision to me was absolutely sensational. 60 times better than the other two running backs, especially Zach Moss. Like he was pounding behind offensive linemen. I'm like, dude, you got to hit the hole to go, right? He was pissing me off, and I'm not even a damn Bills fan. But Singletary hitting the hole, having some nice cutbacks, got the perfect yardage he needed every carry. That is what a running back is supposed to do. And damn, there's more treasure for them, right? Give the Bills more treasures, right? Why not?
Well, for me, even though Tommy and Captain D was going to pick, had Gabriel Davis, but I'm going to go with Sean McDermott. Acknowledge Sean McDermott. I'm going to tell you why. First of all,
I think they already said why.
I mean, clearly everybody. Like the way he was, he had basically a coaching clinic. Like he basically coached circles around Sean McVay, made the right adjustments. Everyone was on the same page. Everything was fluid. Everything. It was just perfect. Perfect. How everything went down. Yeah. Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane are really putting the league on notice, saying, "Hey, the right direction. We got to take it, though." So I'm going with that.
All right. So the third award, which is normally the "What's Up with That," but we're gonna change it. We're gonna simplify it. The sentence I think is a little bit too long, so we're just gonna make it into this.
What? Huh? What? Did you say something?
Just what? That. So in other words, something, it don't have to be specifically about the game. Now we can go past the Bills game if you want. And just something that just didn't make any sense to you in the football world. Anything. Doesn't really matter what it is at this point. So I'm just going to ask for volunteers.
I got an easy one. I mean,
all right, Captain.
Ozzy Osbourne, the halftime show, like he looked like he was lip syncing out there. What was that? I'm like, what is going on here? They might have wheeled him out there at that halftime show. It was weird. It was bad. I don't know. They couldn't find somebody else better than Ozzy Osbourne. That's what I got.
Oh my God, that's
Is
so
it
true,
bad?
bro.
Is it bad that I had to explain for a second to my 22-year-old brother who that was? Because he had no idea who the hell the Osborne was. And I felt, Ozzy Osbourne is before my time. I'm 30, he's before my time. And I had to explain to him exactly who that was. I felt old as crap. Anybody else?
I'm gonna go ahead. So this morning, I read an article. It happened to be on my work computer. It was about Mark Davis, the Raiders owner, and one of the Las Vegas newspapers, the article over there, they would say because the Las Vegas Aces was the WNBA team, and I happens to own them as well. So they asked him, saying that, "Oh, are you gonna go?" Because Game 1 is the same day as the Chargers and the Raiders in LA, and they were saying, "Also, which one are you gonna go to?" And he was like, "Seriously, like." He said, "Seriously, like I'm going to the Raiders. Like this is Game 1 of the WNBA." So, so of course they would track it. They was like saying, "Oh, how can you do this during the championship?" And then what he really wanted to say is not. Like he really wanted to say, I'm like, you know what? I know you wanted to say. First of all, it's the Raiders is a $4 billion team, and it's the NFL Week 1, one of the biggest. I don't care. It's holiday for me. It's a holiday for me. Damn it, and almost everybody in America. Why would you put Game 1 for the WNBA? Why would you put Game 1 in the middle of literally Week 1 of the NFL? It's stupid, and it's bad enough that barely people watches the stuff anyway. But just that, and they made a really big deal out of it. I'm like, really? Like you really are upset at Mark Davis going to see the Raiders, his cash cow, this seating in LA instead of being in Game 1. I thought it was stupid. Like, come on.
They put their championship against the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's Week 10. Like, tell you this going. I'm pretty sure the preseason that should beat them ratings too. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's how it is, man.
It is, man. It's
next.
You got something, Joe?
Yeah, I'll just go with the guy. This just thinking about the game. The guy that ran on the field with that. I don't know what that thing was. The pink. Yo, listen. When are fans gonna stop doing this? I don't understand the point of it. First off, you don't get any shine because they immediately pan somewhere else with the camera so nobody sees you. They cut the live so you don't get any kind of anything for it, and then you usually end up getting picked up, slammed by some security guard, drug out, and taken straight to jail. I don't understand what the point of it is. All you're doing is getting in the way of everybody enjoying a game, kicking back, having a good time, watching the players, and you get to serve some time after that. I don't understand the point of that. So I think that's really, really stupid that people continue to do that. Continue to do it.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Very confusing to me. Gonna have a record on your damn criminal record just because you want to be running around the football field illegally.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And never be able to come back.
No sense.
So if you're a fan, you're done. You can never go back to that stadium ever again. Yeah. That means concerts, everything, because SoFi's doing more than just football. You're doing a lot of things there. So stupid. And the NFL can ban you from other stadiums too.
I was just about to say that. I think they've extended it to where they ban you from almost all the stadiums or all the stadiums. Period. The NFL can do that. They can ban you from every single NFL game. So even if you're not a fan of that football team, whatever fan of a football team you are, you're never going to watch them at whatever stadium you want to watch them at because you want to go around with some smoke, some pink smoke. So just stupid. That's just a what? What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Oh God. Mine would just be to the trolling fans that decide to come on my live podcast and talk crap. Which, listen, I don't mind if you're coming on my podcast if you're a fan of another team and you want to just debate or talk. But if you're gonna come and just talk nonsense and be rude and be stupid, and then you go quiet after your team loses, then you're a mark. You're not a fan. You're just a troll. It's true. I'm like, dude, like own up to it. Like, it's funny. They all go quiet. I will never hear from a word from any of these guys that came on and trolling on my live podcast. But it is what it is. And it's funny too, on my videos too. I'm like, look, man, I said, because I don't know, everyone's different, but I don't talk trash I may say, hey, here's why we're going to win. I think we're going to win. This is why. These guys are get rude and bro, most of the time, I'll be real with you guys too. They're not even true fans. They don't. The moment their team starts to lose, they are on to the next, bro. So that's it. They went quiet, bro. They go quiet. Yeah, you will never hear. I will never hear from those guys again. And I always tell them, I'm like, hey, I'll talk to you after the game, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and talk trash. Like there's a difference between trash talking a little bit and getting like vulgar and stupid. You know what I mean? So these people are just coming on to troll, and that's the difference. I don't like trolling. So yeah, what's up with that, man? Where you at now, Rams fans that decided to come on all week on my channel and talk crap? You're quiet, so get out of here.
I'm sorry, Tommy. That was me.
That was you, son of a... All right, that's it, Rams fan. Nah, I know you wanted.
I saw a picture the other day, and I think it was on NFL Fox on Instagram, and they mentioned what the cost of beer is for every stadium in the NFL.
What, $8, $9?
Believe it or not. And this is why this is a what, because the audacity. I should almost put this in a rant. Maybe I'll do it for both. The Washington, whatever whatchamacallits, charge $14 for a fluffing beer. What gives Dan Snyder and the rest of that disgusting franchise the right to $14? Cocktails are less expensive than that. Are they serious? And that's the product. They're gonna suck. We all know that's gonna happen. That's the product they're gonna put for their fans. Those poor people
with the leaking like roof.
Sewage coming out of the stadium. Mind you, they're $14 for a beer, but they can't afford a plumber to fix their damn stadium. Something.
That's what it's going to.
Damn,
I'm so mad because Juan was he literally took my.
Oh, that was your rant. Whoops.
I think it's something. That's ridiculous. How are you going to be bad? How are you going to be bad and charge $14 for a damn beer? Listen, we live in the New York area, so the Jets charge $5. The minimum was like $5.
I think it was $5.
$5 for beer, and I don't blame them. Listen. I enjoy it. I've got a lot of cheap beers at my stadium.
We have.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like, and mind you, who does Dan Snyder think he is? Oh God,
I'm gonna take that for both because I don't have another rant. But speaking of rant, that is the next one. I did not change the name of this, but
all right.
We usually have Oklahoma State coach rant. Is usually the video. I think. I have
the 40. I'm 40.
Yeah, I have a different one.
Yeah, well, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Good memories. Back when my team was relevant. All right. Epic rant of the week. This could be for whatever the hell it is you want. Just what the fluff. Go. Whatever you want. Curse somebody out. Do what you gotta do.
Bills Mafia. Are you like, can we stop with the Zach Moss? We need a running back to take over Devin Singletary. Can we stop that talk now? Come on, you guys. Listen, I am so, and my co-host Mikey, I love him, but stop with the excuses on Zach Moss already. He's averaging 2.5 a carry. Like, okay, he's been injured. Okay, now he's healthy. He had 2.5 again. That's what he does. He doesn't have good vision, right? He runs in the back of his offensive lineman constantly. He fumbles. You got Devin Singletary, who averaged 6 yards a carry in this game. He should have got the ball more, in my opinion, in this game. Yep. If that's my only complaint in this game is, why the hell was Zach Moss out there that much when Devin Singletary's rushing for 6 yards a carry? When he got Zach, what is the difference between the two? Devin Singletary can run people over just like Zach Moss, and you saw it. The only time they panned over to our coach, who loves like these kind of plays, was I think it was a 3rd and 3. It was a pass to Singletary, and he just trucked this guy over for like 3 yards just to get the extra 3. And he was like, yeah, like he loves that. That's what you love to see in a running back, that extra effort. And they were hoping that was Moss. Like Moss would be that guy to pick up that 3. But look, he fumbles. Like he averages 2. Like I can't trust him. So Bills Mafia, stop trying to push a guy out that's been very consistent with a bad offensive line. Let's be real. The last 2 or 3 seasons since we drafted him, and he still's been averaging like 4.7 a season. That is pretty damn good, especially when he hasn't really gotten the ball much. Like, we're not a running team. So can we stop with this? We need a running back. Like, he is a good running back. I know – what's crazy real quick? Every damn football fan on their team, they expect an A+ stud at every position. We need the best runner. We need to have the best receivers. We need the best offensive, the best defense, the best core. Bro, it don't work that way. Like, there's going to be a little bit limited in one spot. You cannot have a great guy at every single position. It doesn't happen. Devin Singletary is a very good running back. Is he great? No. But I will say this, if he went, and which he's probably going to go somewhere else next season, if they run him, he's going to be 1,000-yard back. I promise you. If they have a decent offensive line, he's a good running back. He's not Jonathan Taylor. I get that. But who the hell is? Stop it already. There's only a handful of running backs in this league that are dynamic. That's what I'm trying to say. There's not a lot of dynamic running backs. There's dynamic, which is about 5 maybe, and then the rest are good to shitty. Like, that's it. And I think Singletary lines up in the good. That's it. So stop trying to kick him out of town since day one. I don't get it. I really don't get it. All right, there we go. Sorry.
Bills Mafia.
Golly.
Acknowledge him.
For real. Upsets me. God. I'll always be his fan. By the way, hey, real quick, you guys.
Yeah.
Is there ever a player that you just really love, and no matter what, even if you go somewhere, you just still like that guy no matter what? You know what I mean? Even if he's on another team, like Singletary will always be that guy for me. Like, I'll always have respect for that guy. Like, I always love him no matter where he goes. Like, there is a certain player I think you have for every team that you kind of like, man, I love that dude. Like, I just love the way he plays. I wish him well no matter where he goes. Do you guys have that guy? Like, a certain player that you just...
I had that guy, but he's long retired now. For me, was Danny Woodhead. I love Danny Woodhead.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I love him too.
He was so shifty. He was, like I said, he at the time when I was in high school, I was like, yo, we were on the same height. Like, maybe I could play running back for the New England Patriots. It was so cool. He was so shifty. He was so shifty. And then in high school, whenever there was like a few Patriot fans in our high school, and whenever he scored a touchdown, we'd be like, Woodhead. And you know what I'm saying? over the hallway. I love Danny Woodhead, man.
He ran with Green Ellis?
Yeah, Green Ellis.
Oh, I hated Green Ellis.
I hated Green Ellis. He was terrible.
Speaking of Zach Moss, that's basically who the hell Green Ellis was, except at least Green Ellis didn't fumble.
Right. Who else had the epic? Go ahead.
Yeah, my guy is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I love Sam Darnold. I'm a big SC guy, for those of you that do not know. Big SC guy, and when we drafted him, first off, I did not believe that we were going to get him. Everybody was trying to, all Jets fans was like, "Oh yeah, we'll just get Sam." Everybody, he was the consensus #1 pick, hands down. Everybody was saying that he was gone. He was going to go to the Browns. I wasn't even going to rev myself up to even think about Sam Darnold being a New York Jet. And when he got drafted, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just shocked. And then we ruined him. We ruined him. We did everything that we could. We gave him no weapons, no protection. Our offensive line was garbage. And then to finish him off, we gave him Adam Gase. And that was
so bad.
When I could, it was like one of my worst nightmares. Like, it was like there was nothing that could be done. It was just a horror movie. Jason's coming in. No matter how fast you try to run, you can't get away.
That press conference was the most epic, where he was all over his eyes. So I'm like, yo, this is what you're getting. This guy's and he's sniffing the salt on the side.
Oh man, it was ridiculous. That was a complete clown show, all of it. And and it ruined him. So that's my favorite player. I know, he's in Carolina, and he's dealing with what he's got to deal with. I think Baker's starting over him now, so we'll see. Hopefully, he gets his chance and gets a chance to get himself back on track. But we had a lot to do with that. But my rant is that we kind of talked about.
Miss Beth, I guess that's Fitzpatrick. That's her player.
Fitzy. Yeah. I don't. Fitzy's loved by every fan base. I think that he's gone to. That is a good. By the way, for Beth, right? That's one guy. It's odd that everywhere he's gone, even though he may not have played great there or whatever, like they just love him. Like that's a great comment by Beth. By the way, go ahead.
Jets fans, we definitely aren't. I mean, most Jets fans I talk to can't stand him because what he did for the last year that he was here with us, it was awful.
No magic for the.
Oh, it was bad. He threw like 6 interceptions against the Chiefs. It was bad. He ruined our playoff chances. He dumped on the franchise before.
You go right there, but not 16. Yeah,
it was bad. But my rant is, what we kind of just talked about. Everybody. There's a lot of people that are still talking about the Jets and constantly being negative about the Jets, constantly dumping on us, constantly talking about, our past and stuff like that. Look, Adam Gase is gone. That time is over, baby. All right, that time's over. We have moved forward. We got Joe Douglas here. We got Robert Saleh here. We have Mike LaFleur here. We got Albrecht. We got a whole new staff, a whole new front that has changed the look of the New York Jets, okay? Now, are we ready to win a Super Bowl this season? We're not there necessarily yet. We'll see, because we do have a lot of talent, but we're making that push and we're making that next step. So I want to urge people, right? Stop living in the past. That time is over. We are moving forward. We're a better football team, and I'm excited about our future. So that's my rant, man.
We're on Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
If it fits you, we're on Cincinnati, right? Don't worry about that. We're talking about right now. I love it. Yeah.
Right.
Any more rants?
I guess I'll go on with my rant.
Yes. Please do.
Last week, I made a comment. That the Dolphins would win 11 games and go to the playoffs.
Okay.
There was a lot of comments made on there. They were like, "There's no way, brand new head coach, Tua."
That's
and
like Tommy.
Kind of sounds like Tommy a little bit. But I got something. I got it. Hold on.
Oh God.
Let me put those on real quick.
You son of a gun.
No, it has nothing to do with Tommy. In 2008, Tony Sperano took over a 1-15 football team the previous year before. Went 11-5. He's the only coach in the NFL to do that. Over 10 wins, and to turn around a team that went 1-15. He took over a horrible team that Cam Cameron was coaching. So Dolphins fans and people who want to talk about that and say, "There's no way, new head coach," as Dolphins fans, we should be optimistic. Rest in peace. God bless his soul, Tony Sperano. He was a damn good coach. He only coached 4 years. First year was great. Last 3. So Tony Sperano, the sunglasses, the fist pump. That's my epic rant.
Tony Sperano.
You have to give us a little history lesson there too. All right, T. All right, Professor. Gotcha.
I have a little rant. Not like last week. I went crazy last week, but nah. This is for the city of Chicago. So,
like, they're not gonna go through enough this year. You really gonna give them more punishment?
I ain't gonna give them more punishment because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. First of all, how dare the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, get upset that the Bears want to get the hell out of Chicago and move their stadium to a suburb out of there? First of all, first things first. It's bad. The whole state, their whole city is in shambles, and that's a whole other story, though. But my question is this: Bears fans have been through a lot. First of all, their franchise is complete utter garbage. Like, first of all, have you not seen their roster this year? Their receiving core, led by Darnell Mooney and N'Keal Harry. That should tell you something right there. N'Keal Harry. That's pretty bad. And then, out of all the things are fine. I'm gonna move them to Arlington Heights. I don't think Arlington Heights wants them either. I don't think they want him either. Man, Chicago, they keep saying, "Oh, well, we're a story franchise." You know, no, you were a story franchise. Story in the trash, maybe. Like it's not really much. Yeah, it's history, but most of it is bad. You know what I'm saying? Just
when you ride 1985 for 40 years,
Jim McMahon can only be your hero for so much. That's ridiculous. Like that's horrible. But again,
I know another franchise that does that too.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, Chicago. Like I said, like, I feel for the fans, man. But at the end of the day, like you really gotta let the ownership know. Listen, we will not tolerate this mediocrity anymore. You know this.
They wish they were mediocre.
I mean,
they will never go on it. See, I see what you're saying, but I also am on the side of, and I'm not a Chicago. I totally get what you're saying, but Chicago is like, man, if you go back to like the early arcade football games, there was like 8 teams. Chicago was probably one of them. Like they're that historic. You can't take Chicago out of like you just can't. Like for as bad as they are, however, they do need just either the owner needs to sell a team and get somebody in there who knows what the hell he's doing and get a GM. But you guys know how that is, man. Bad teams sometimes just stay bad. But I don't think they'll ever move just because of the historic fact, man. But I get what you're saying. I can't see it happening, man. That'd be crazy. I don't think the NFL would even allow it. Like honestly,
just about to say that.
Just because they're so historic, man. This isn't like the Chargers who move every time or the Raiders who constantly move or you know what I mean? Like Chicago's just not going. Like NFL just would not allow it. I would be shocked if the NFL would allow Chicago to move.
That's like Green Bay or Dallas moving to
right. Yeah, even if the Green Bay sucked forever, they would not. It ain't gonna ever. I would be shocked, dude. Even the Dolphins. I hate to. They're historic. Like people, like Dolphin fans are everywhere too. You know what I mean? Like they've been around forever and they got history. Even if they sucked for the next 20, they would never go. They can never leave. It's just the way it works, man. Now Jacksonville, totally different. I think Jacksonville could probably move anytime. They have no history, no nothing.
They might go across the sea for all we know.
Right.
Britain.
Right. The London Jaguars.
The London Crumpets.
The Crumpets. I'm dead. All right. So let's get into some football, shall we? So let's start with Ravens at Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for tomorrow, by the way. Again, we keep mentioning Christmas.
Me too.
Hey, I am excited. You know what's great for me, guys, is I get to enjoy 2 weeks of Sunday football without like just worrying about my team. Like I just gonna chill. It's it is weird though. I got to tell you guys that. Super weird because I don't know if this ever happened. I don't think it ever has, where a team opened on a Thursday and then they played Monday Night Football the following week. I don't think it's ever happened before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So think about it. It's a 12-day. It's like a lot. That's a huge break for us. Like we have a long little, almost 2 weeks. So yeah, it's just weird. But now I get to enjoy 2 Sundays of football without even watching my team play. So it's wild, man. But yeah, I'm excited, man. NFL Red Zone. I'm going to be watching all y'all. But go ahead.
Did we go through these games last week? I don't remember.
No.
No.
Very briefly because
not.
I wanted it to be on this show because
Okay, got it. No problem.
Yeah, very briefly.
Joe's going to be last because his game, so he gets to talk as much as he wants in a minute. But let's go through this game, what we think is going to happen. Let's go with, are there any storylines in this game?
The only storyline for here is you have Joe Flacco playing his former team, because he's starting tomorrow.
Is he officially starting?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
He's been a starter since preseason.
Okay.
I mean, so it's pretty much be like, oh, well, I think it's his old team. Let's see how it goes. Now, again, during our summer shows, especially our summer live shows, I've been like, I really like how Joe Douglas has built this team. He finally has control of the franchise where he can get his players in there and try. And you can definitely see a direction with him. And unfortunately, with Zach Wilson not playing, obviously he's not going to win this game though. But I think that Jet fans will appreciate, because think about last year, most of the games weren't even competitive a lot of the times. At least they'll get a sense of if they're competitive, then hey, it's a sense in the right direction. But I do have Baltimore winning this game though. But yeah, I like the makeup of it, and for me, the sky's the limit for them. So
Okay. I did name this week on the show Statement Week. There's a few teams that are basically brand new, and they have things to prove to their fan bases tomorrow. So I did deem this week Statement Week. This one, since Zach Wilson's not there, I don't even know what to even think, because this is Joe Flacco, and I don't remember this being in 2012. So I don't think this is gonna be very good. So I don't know what to say about the Jets at this point until they get their real starting quarterback. What do I say? What can I say? There's a lot more stuff about the Ravens. For example, their quarterback they're stopping talks with Lamar Jackson getting his contract extension now. So I wonder how he's gonna play. Is he gonna play inspired or not?
or play really angry and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna show you why you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we'll see if we see a super 2019 Lamar or not. We'll find out. I think we will. And the fact that the Baltimore Ravens are actually going to be healthy, at least to start kickoff. I don't know what's gonna happen during the game, but at least in kickoff they'll actually have a full roster of players, unlike last year. So that's cool to see. I'm interested to see even though Zach Wilson's not there, I want to see what type of stuff Robert Saleh has to offer. The defense will still be there, so that I would like to see put the pieces together. I believe he had Carl Lawson on IR early last year, if he even played a snap. I don't think he did. So they're gonna have their prime defensive lineman in tomorrow. So I can't wait to see how he's gonna play. We do have the rookie receiver coming in. I mean, again, he's not gonna have his real quarterback throwing him the football, but doesn't mean he won't be able to be showcased at least. To see, I believe it's Garrett Wilson, right? Yeah, Drake London is flat one. Garrett Wilson gonna be on there playing, so I'm interested to see. There's a couple things to watch. It's just that since there's no real quarterback, because Joe Flacco's that's a joke. Unfortunately, we're gonna see Baltimore win this game pretty damn easily. I know, I'm sorry, but it's Joe Flacco in 2022. 10 years ago, he was good, and ain't 10 years ago.
And then Baltimore they just love beating on like
teams. Yeah, they're bullies.
They're bullies. Like the teams that they know they're better in, they just pound.
Like, I don't know if y'all noticed that when they play somebody inferior, we know it because they put up a 40 when they do. I don't know why they do this, but that's the thing with them. It's like their preseason when they never have lost a preseason game in like 8 years. And like I don't know, Baltimore's like that. I don't know why they're like that, but that's what they do. Two more we got. Let's go, Tommy. What you guys have anything to say about the game?
I thought I didn't check the injury report, but I know like a week ago they were saying that it was possible Wilson might play week one, but so apparently that's not the case. Flacco is playing, and I'll be honest, even when Flacco won a Super Bowl, he was okay. Like that was more about their defensive scheme. He has a good arm, but this is years later. I still think he could throw the ball. He would be you know what? He would have been perfect for Zach Wilson his first year, his rookie year, for him to kind of sit back and watch this guy, like, the veteran kind of quarterback. I kind of feel like Zach Wilson got off on a bad start with the Jets. We'll see if he can bounce back, and the injury is probably not good, like getting hurt already this early. But I do like Breece Hall. I do like their other running back. I forget his name. Help me.
Michael
Carter. Carter. So that's a good little 1-2 there. I don't mind that. And I tell you what, I'm not totally sold on the Ravens. Now I have the Ravens winning, but I'm not sold on them. Like listen, Lamar Jackson, the one thing they've been struggling with is finding him weapons. He has one go-to guy. That's Mark Andrews. If you could knuckle down Mark Andrews, it's kind of the Lamar show. If the Jets can kind of play that spy defense on Lamar, contain Mark Andrews, it's going to be closer than you guys think if they can do that. If they can't, then, it's going to be a long day for the Jets. But Saleh's pretty solid head coach, so he may plan that out where they do maybe do some doubling or play a little bit more physical Mark Andrews at the line of scrimmage and make Lamar beat him. Because I'm just, their defense is good, no doubt. And that's where I'm still leaning on the Jets. The Ravens to win, because the Jets offense with Flacco as your main quarterback, not a younger Wilson who can maybe move around a little bit better. There's your problem. So, but I still kind of feel like this might be closer than I initially predicted. But I do have the Ravens winning.
Yeah, and I'm mad at myself. Forgot to mention Amon Gardner. I can't wait to see that kid play because he was a super beast in college. I hope he continues it. And like you said, there's no weapons in Baltimore that really should give him much of a problem. So we'll find out. But it is his debut game, so mistakes might be made.
And speaking of Lamar too, real quick, he's his own agent. That's a really interesting thing because I really wonder if Baltimore has given him a fair offer because we wouldn't know, right? There's no agent to say, hey, I wonder if Lamar's going all out and he wants this crazy contract that the Baltimore Ravens maybe just don't feel comfortable giving. And it's very, very possible, and I'm going to throw this out here, and I've been saying it, I could see him going to Miami. I could see him being traded to Miami, just like Tyreek Hill was traded there, or when he becomes a free agent, getting a huge contract. I see Miami, him going back to playing for Florida. He's from there. And I see Miami, for as much as they've been trying to get a quarterback there like crazy, like Deshaun Watson. Trust me, they would have paid if it wasn't for that nonsense that happened there. So them trying to get Tom Brady. If Tua doesn't work out this season, I could definitely see them giving a big offer for a trade or just waiting it out to see what happens with Lamar and giving him a big contract.
That would be,
so I'm just throwing that out. Yeah, I'm throwing it out there. If there's one team that's going to get Lamar, if Baltimore don't resign him, I have a feeling it would be the Dolphins.
No, I agree with you. I honestly agree with you. Now you say that, I think Mike McDaniel, imagine the run schemes he come up with Lamar as his quarterback. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Dolphins, you got anything to say about this game, Captain?
I do.
You can even respond to Tommy if you want to.
About that. I did see that. I did see that report that they were talking about Lamar possibly heading down to the Dolphins because of the contract situation with Lamar, and if that didn't work out, and if things don't work out with Tua, that would be a possibility. That being said, a lot of good storylines for this game, a lot of young talent. As we all know, the Jets had a great draft. I feel like, I mean, it's yet to be proven, but on paper, it looked like a great draft. I kind of felt I'm really big on Robert Saleh. I'm kind of came back a little bit on Zach Wilson. I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. He is from Southeast Florida. He has a lot of community. He went to high school very close to where I used to live. So I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. I would love him to come to the Dolphins. But there's a lot of good storylines here of where this Jets team is going. Because I'm watching. I'm going to be watching and peeking and seeing what's going on, even though this is game one. Because as we all know, they're in our division, and this is hey, if the product looks nice that's coming out, it's only game one. But this is year two for Robert Saleh, and it's going to kind of show what his imprint is going to be for this team. So I'm going to be flipping back and forth on this game. I think it's a 1:00 game. I believe it should be.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
All right, Long Beach, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, listen. First off, those are some good thoughts. So for me, when I look at this game, I'm going to start with the offense for the New York Jets. And I think that's a space where a lot of people aren't looking and talking about. I know people are talking about Joe Flacco and what he brings to the table. I think that he's a solid, steady veteran hand. Of course, we lost Zach Wilson. He did have some workouts recently where they talked about the possibility of him possibly starting week one. Sulla said, it's up in the air. We'll see what happens. There's a possibility. But I never, from the time that he got the bone bruise and meniscus tear, I never thought that he was going to start week one. I always said, if you watch any of my content, that it was week 3, week 4 is when I would feel comfortable with him back out there. Like, that's what I just had a feeling that that's what was going to happen, that he was going to sit until probably week 3, week 4, and then boom, the news comes out that, yes, he's going to be sitting to week 3 or week 4 at least. Is when the Jets are going to have him back. Now, there's a lot of talk about the bone bruise being more of a concern with the doctors because he did have the arthroscopic knee surgery on the 16th of August, I believe. So he's not going to be back until at least week 4. So with Joe Flacco out there, Joe Flacco's going to come in and do exactly what we hired him to do, which was be that solid veteran number 2 quarterback, come in, put us in good positions, don't make any dumb throws, don't lose the game for us, basically. But the bigger storyline, I think, is the protection that surrounds Joe Flacco. As we know, he's a statue. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not any of these guys that can really move and evade pressure and extend plays with his feet if something goes haywire. Well, we just lost Dwayne Brown for week 1. He's actually on short-term IR. He's not going to come back until week 5. That's our starting left tackle. So we lost Mekhi Becton, who was our starting right tackle earlier in the preseason with a kneecap fracture. He's done for the season. So now our offensive line is shifting. We take George Fant, we move him from right tackle back to left tackle where he was actually going to be the starter until Mekhi went down and we brought in Dwayne Brown. And now we have a rookie, Max Mitchell, who we just drafted starting at right tackle. So that's going to be a big concern going into the game is the protection and the protection schemes that have to be drawn up to make sure that Joe Flacco is good. Now, one of the things, and you guys talk about the improvement that's been made to this roster, is that Joe Douglas has went out and got some really solid tight ends for us. CJ Uzama, Tyler Conklin, and Jeremy Ruckert, who we just drafted. These are guys that can block, right? Not only can they block, but they're also receiving threats. So what I see Mike LaFleur, our offensive coordinator, doing is utilizing our tight ends in the passing game or even in the running game to really help Max Mitchell, because Max Mitchell could be good. Again, he's a young guy, but when we drafted him under the guise of he's a guy that's going to grow here. He's raw. He's got to work on his technique. He's got to get stronger. And we'll just, sit him on the bench behind people and we'll see. Well, now it's his time because he's got to start because we got so many guys down. Even our other backup tackle, Connor McDermott, he's dealing with an ankle injury. But honestly, Connor McDermott, Max Mitchell, they didn't look good in OTAs or in preseason at all. After Mekhi Becton went down, those guys were put out there during practice and they were getting destroyed. So I think a big thing is going to be seeing how our offensive coordinator schemes against this Baltimore defense, because they got guys that can get after it. Calais Campbell, Justin Houston, they can rush the passer, and they're physical, as you guys spoke about as well. They play smash mouth football. That's the AFC North. They're not playing around. Those are grown men that are coming, to take care of business. So we got to make sure that we protect Joe Flacco correctly and not get him smacked around, because if we do that, it's going to be a long day. They do have some injuries elsewhere as well, especially in their secondary. Marcus Peters, I believe, is questionable. I think he's going to play at this point.
He's questionable.
They talked about, the possibility of him not being out there, but I think he did come out there and say that he was going to play. But they also got Humphrey, who's a good corner. They got Marcus Williams, and they have Hamilton as well, who they just drafted, rookie safety. So we'll see what goes on there. I think we need to target Hamilton early and often. I think a big thing for us, especially with the protection issues, is getting our running game going. Breece Hall, Michael Carter, we got to run the ball more effectively this season so we can be a more balanced offense. I think us recommitting to the running game is huge as well, especially with the improvement that we made with the tight end position and bringing in guys like Lakeland Tomlinson, who's now our left guard, a Pro Bowl guy. We moved Elijah Vera Tucker to the right side as our right guard. So our interior is very strong now, and I expect us to really try to manhandle the Ravens up front because we got to run the ball. I think another big thing as well, when you look at our wide receivers, I know you brought up Garrett Wilson, which is a guy I'm going to be looking at, but a lot of people are sleeping on Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is an explosive playmaker. He's kind of our X factor as far as our offense, a guy that can really take it to the house if you fall asleep on him. I want to see how he's utilizing his football game, because if we can get the football in his hands, man, it could become a nightmare for the Ravens. Real talk. Like, he's that good in this league. And if utilized correctly, he can really, put up points for us. And again, Corey Davis coming back as well. We missed him. He missed a lot of time last year due to a hip injury, had a surgery, sat down, missed a lot of games last season. And here's his comeback game. He's our big number one wide receiver, our big target out there. So I want to see Joe Flacco get him the football as well. And again, our tight ends being utilized in the passing game, I think is going to be huge for us. When pressure is going to come to Flacco, dump it off to, Uzama or Conklin and let them go and get the yardage. So I think we'll be okay there as long as Flacco is just protected and just allowed to be smart, get the football out of his hands quickly, be concise with his throws and make it happen. Now, defensively, I think is where you have to look at some things. Another thing that nobody's really talking about, nobody said up here, Ronnie Stanley, the Ravens starting left tackle, he's out for this game. He's dealing with an injury too. Well, guess what? The New York Jets have just reinvested again in the pass rush, which we haven't had a pass rush, right? A consistent pass rush since years ago. John Abraham was like our last real pass rusher. That was when I was young. So now we got Carl Lawson coming back off that injury. He has looked phenomenal so far, right? Whether it be in the offseason, OTAs, preseason games, all that. He's looking like the real deal. I'm excited to have him back. And so with Stanley out, we should be feasting. We got Jermaine Johnson as well, who we just drafted. He's going to be on the other side. We have so many. Michael Clemens, a guy that a lot of people are not talking about, that we took a little bit later in the draft. That is a grown man, and he's a very serious individual, and he gets after it. Let me tell you, I'm telling y'all, Michael Clemens is a guy you need to look out for. He's also a guy that can put some pressure as well on the passer. So I think the big thing is for us is to, of course, we have to look out for Lamar Jackson. He's extremely mobile. I mean, he's a weapon. Like he can do everything. We have to ensure that we do not overrun him, because if we overrun Lamar Jackson in the pursuit of him and we leave those lanes open, he's going to take off. Like that's just what he does. He's going to take off and he's going to go for a big gain. So we have to be very smart about how we rush him. Getting a spy on him, I know, is what a lot of people talk about, and that's something that we could do. Again, our backers, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Kwan Alexander, excuse me, those guys, we can spy him, but we got to be very careful about rushing Lamar Jackson and leaving ourselves open to him being able to find some space on the field and taking off. We've got to watch that. So that's my big thing with him, and especially, again, with Stanley being out, that protection starts to tick down a little bit. And if we can get after him, I think we can bang him around, and I think that it could turn into some turnovers, some strip sacks, maybe rush him into, some interceptions and stuff. Because, again, that wide receiver core, I'm not really scared of, to be completely honest. Duvernay, I know they have another guy as well. I forgot his name. Bateman. Yeah, Rashad Bateman. These are not guys that I'm scared of, especially when we got Sauce. We have DJ Reed, who's a guy that we just got, who's really good. We also got Jordan Whitehead as well back there, one of the better safeties in the league. He just came from the Bucs. We just signed him. So I'm not terrified by their wide receiver threats at all. What I'm most worried about offensively for them, defensively on their offense, is that tight end position. Andrews is a monster. He's one of the better tight ends in the league. Not only him, but they also got Nick Boyle. They also got Isaiah Likely as well, a young kid they just drafted. This Ravens tight end group is serious business, and they come out in these big sets. They run out of it. We see them being, utilized in the red zone as well. Big guys, sometimes he just throws it up and they go get it. We have to find a way to corral it, especially Andrews. And historically, the New York Jets have had issues covering tight ends. We get cooked by them consistently. Well, again, these wide receivers aren't that great. Lock down Andrews. I don't care if you got to bracket him, if you got to double him, do whatever. Do not allow him to be a beacon of hope, of light in this game for them offensively. Just take him away and make Lamar go elsewhere. And again, Lamar, a lot of people talk about him just being a runner. He's got an arm too. He can dice you up from the pocket. So we've got to be careful with that. The running game, I know that they have a running back, Dobbins. I think he's questionable. Who may not play also. Yeah, he's questionable too. I know he's dealing with the injury as well, but we also have to watch the running game. We got diced up last year on the ground, but especially, again, we talk about Carl Lawson, we talk about Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens. We got Quinnen Williams as well. This is a guy that we took, I believe, 3rd overall in the draft. He's coming back this year, and he's already talked about he wants to show the league that he's a guy that's an impact defensive tackle, an impact defensive lineman, and he's really pushing to try to get that extension, to get that contract here, to get that next contract with us. So this is really a big prove-it year for him, and I think he's going to come out there and just be completely disruptive, especially with the added pass rush that we have around him, because you can no longer just double team him. So this is going to be a big game for us. Causing disruption in the running game is what I think Quinnen Williams is going to do. And I think that stopping the running game for us when they're handing it off to, if it's not Dobbins or, whoever else they got over there, shutting that down is going to be huge for us as well. Because let me tell you something, if the Ravens can get things going on the ground, that's their calling card, we'll be finished. We've got to stop that and shut that down. Mike Davis is the other guy that they have. So we've got to be sure of that. But I think it's going to be a game that a lot of people are sleeping on us, and they're thinking that we're just going to go in there and get blown out, and I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be much closer than people think it is. And do we do our predictions right now?
Well, I was going to get to that. But before we get to that, I have comments after the show, and I just want to say I had 3 questions ready to ask you before you started that one. It was like I was taking a class in college. You answered all 3 of them, so my interview just went out the damn window.
I'm sorry. I can
no, sorry. That was amazing. That was everything that anyone can ask for and more. Just damn.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give Scott some love because he commented a long time ago, but I couldn't interrupt that. I had to let you go. All right, here's Scott. What's up, Scott? How you doing?
What's up, Scotty?
And this is for Tommy specifically. Number 24 since Thursday. Damn, Tommy, you been going crazy like that the last 3 days, man?
Oh, man.
All right, and Scott, this is for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Long Beach Joe, welcome to the AFC, best AFC East. Man, I gotta put the best part, my bad. Welcome to the best AFC East roundtable. So
right.
get your understanding of you. What is the Jets' record this year, in your opinion?
I think honestly, I think we can win 9 to 10 games. That's honestly what I think. I think we can win 9 to 10 games. And the reason why I think we can win 9 to 10 games is because of our commitment to running the football. Listen, if you look at our coaching staff, a lot of them are from the Niners, right? We run the Kyle Shanahan offense. What is the Kyle Shanahan offense? It's based around running. The reason why we were so bad last year is because we could not run the football at all. We were very one-dimensional, and we had a lot of issues with talent. Our offensive line was poop. I mean, it was bad, especially interior. It was really bad. Well, now we've really got an uptick in talent surrounding our young quarterback, which Zach Wilson will be back eventually. And our offensive line is different. Our running game is going to be different. So we'll be able to run the football. And I think now defensively as well, we finally have the players to properly run Robert Saleh's system. We didn't have a pass rusher last season because Carl Lawson was gone. We were depending on John Franklin Myers, who's a good rotational defensive lineman. Jet fans, if you're watching me, you know, rotational defensive lineman. He is not a pass rusher. He's not. We didn't have one. So if you can't rush the passer, I know all y'all know that. Tommy, know. You see how the Bills look. Why do they look the way that they look? Because you have a guy with a Bills helmet in your face when you hike the ball. They can rush the pass. We couldn't do that at all. You had 30 years to throw the football against the Jets last season. This season, it should not look like that, or we have major problems. If it looks like that, where you got 40 years to throw the football against the Jets, we got major problems. Because you got Carl Lawson, you got Clemens, you got Jermaine Johnson here now. We got all these guys that I just talked about a second ago. You should not have much time to throw the football at all. Guess what that turns into? Of course, it turns into sacks, but it turns into turnovers, interceptions, strip sacks, stuff like that, and especially with the uptick in our secondary. So guys getting cooked and stuff like that is not going to happen anymore because you got a second, and you better make a decision or you're going to get blasted. And if you make it, most quarterbacks, you give them a second, they're going to make a mistake. Somebody's going to do it, right? So that's the difference for us now. And so that's why I think 9 to 10 games is where I think that we can be. I know there's some Jets fans that think we're going to win way more. Look, 9 to 10 games is where I think we could be.
I think that's a little bit of a push. I'm going to say this is, if you guys win 7 games, that's a great accomplishment. And the only reason why I say that is the quarterback position. It's such a big question mark. You know, Joe Flacco's getting a little old, and he's getting a little old. He is older, but Zach Wilson, that's the biggest question mark. How he can utilize all this new talent, how it comes together. Is it possible? Hell yeah, it definitely is. But I see the Jets that this is just another stepping stone. I think next year is going to be if it all comes together, you guys get to that 10, 11 wins.
And I love that you said that because Bob Blakely said the same exact thing out in the comments section.
Did he? Okay. I didn't even see that.
Here's why I think 9 to 10, and I don't think like 9 to 10 is anything crazy. Really, I don't. I think that's kind of like, hey, that's just a safe number. Here's why. I understand what you're talking about with the quarterback position, right? But especially with Joe Flacco starting again, we'll get Zach Wilson back at maybe week 4 again, week 5. We'll see when that comes, but at least week 4 is what they're talking about. We have so much talent at every other position. It's ridiculous. Our wide receiver core is very good. I mean, it's deep. It's one of the deeper wide receiver cores in the league, to be completely honest. We can go legitimately 5 wide and have a threat. Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Braxton Berrios. Then you got Denzel Mims, right? We have guys that can go out there. Our tight end position, Uzama, Conklin, our running back situation, Carter, who's a very good running back, Breece Hall, who Tommy talked about as well. Breece Hall was talked about as being the best running back in the draft. and we were able to grab him in the second. I remember watching a lot of Bills fans that were upset that we got Breece Hall. There was I forgot the name of the Bills fan, but he was furious that we got Breece Hall. So when you look at these things that we've improved offensively, you look at the issues that we had last year, it was our offense. Our offense sucked. We couldn't score at all, especially in the first half of games. Our defense was carrying us most of the time. We were terrible. We were terrible. Until we played the Bengals, that was the first time that we had scored in the first quarter of a game, and that was like late in the season. So if you can improve those things with talent improved around a quarterback, right, that will raise the play, because our offense really is all about getting the ball to the guys in space. That's what it's all about. You know, our offense is the exact same stuff they run in San Francisco. San Francisco saw success with Jimmy G. Jimmy G's not that good of a quarterback at all. He sucks. But why was he successful? Because they had the weapons around him. You just get the ball to the guy in space and make it happen. That's it. It's a very quarterback-friendly scheme, I'm telling you. Very friendly. If you look at us and you look at our offensive records here, it's set by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Most of our offensive records are set by Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's because we surrounded him with Decker, Marshall, and all those guys. So I think that we'll be okay. Go ahead.
And I like that you said that about we're talking about the quarterback position real quick, because Beth goes ahead and says that quarterback is definitely in the question, and everything is nice about talent, but Wilson's shown injury-prone tendency, so that is her concern about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, as friendly as the quarterback system may be, how you don't have any worries yourself about Zach Wilson's availability, because this is, I think, twice or three times in 1 year that he's been injured and not playing in games.
Well, if he doesn't come, if he comes back and he's not playing, well, we'll see what happens with Zach Wilson, right? As when he comes back. But again, when he did come back last season, because he was injured, he had a PCL injury last season, and he sat for a minute. When he came back, that's when we saw the flashes. The last 5 games, he didn't have an interception. He played very well. But the glaring issue was the lack of weapons, the lack of protection. I'm telling you, go back and watch those games. I myself don't think, and I've talked about this with multiple Jets fans, I think that Zach Wilson, if you look at him, I think that he could be a top 15 quarterback. That's what I think. If you listen to any analyst or either other Jets fans, they'll talk about him being a top 10 quarterback. I know you guys have seen it all over the media. They talk about him easily taking the next step this season. So there's some injury stuff again this year. He cut back in, his knee buckled, but you know, it is what it is. That stuff happened. But again, the weapons and talent that we have, even if he falters and has to get sat or something like that, the other pieces that we have, because we have veteran quarterbacks, I think they'll be able to come in and be solid. And again, it's not just our offense, but our defense has been made a lot better as well with the pass rush and everything that we have.
Yeah, so I'm with Captain D on this, and I've already said this before anyways. I see you guys have a 7-8 win team. I mean, looking at your schedule, so just offhand, looking at your schedule. So not only AFC East in general, even though the Patriots are, man, I almost have you guys being in the last place, Patriots. But either way, it's still no matter what though, Bill Belichick's going to bring it. He's got his defense. He's always going to bring those games. So none of those games are super easy, right? So you got Buffalo twice. You got Miami twice, who Miami has a good defense. They got good corners. And now they added weapons on offense. So that's not a easy win, right? So you got them twice. You got New England twice, which is never an easy win. Now, maybe this season it gets a little easier, right? Because New England's having some problems on offense with the coordinator, stuff like that. Then you got Cleveland, right? They don't have Watson right now, but they got 2 of the best running backs in the league with one of the best offensive line in the league, right? That's not a game that's a gimme, and that's in Cleveland. You got Cincinnati coming to town, which is they're one of the best teams. They made it to the Super Bowl. Then you got Pittsburgh, who Pittsburgh always brings it. I don't think their coach ever had a losing record, so he's going to bring it. That's a tough game. Then you got Green Bay in Green Bay. That's another tough game in Green Bay. Then you got Denver, an improved offense, an improved defense. Chicago, that's a win, right? Minnesota, that's a crapshoot. You never know. Minnesota is a weird team that could go up in the air. Jacksonville, that's a win for you guys, 100%. I would be shocked if you guys lose. Seattle, that's a win for you guys. But right there, I mean, I just named maybe 4 games. That's an easy win for you guys. Jacksonville, The rest are really, really tough games. That is not an easy schedule on any. That's why plus Flacco is starting your first 4 games. So right out the box, you could maybe go 0-4. I mean, it's very, very possible. Looking at your the schedule, right off the bat, Baltimore, and then you got right after that, what do you got? Cleveland, right? And then you got Cincinnati, I believe, and then Pittsburgh. I mean, none of those games are easy. Those are all tough, and you got to rely on Flacco and your defense.
3 out of the 4 in the AFC North in the first month.
It's very tough. That's and then when your quarterback gets back, you got and then who do you got next? You know what I mean? And I think you got Dolphins next, right? And so he has to be. Is he going to be ready to go? Is he going to be a little rusty? Right? It might take him a game or two to really get back to, where he was, like you said, last year at the end of the year. That's why I don't see you guys winning 9-10, because you're already starting bad out the gate, right? You're already limping out of the gate with the quarterback situation. Like, that is the most important person on the field, right? We all can kind of agree with that, with the offensive line, in my opinion, being second. But if you don't have a good quarterback, and I know you said Flacco's a veteran, I get that. Don't turn the ball over. Be smart. Just, but that means the rest of your team is going to have to play their A game, especially against those opponents that you start off the season with. They're going to have to be on point. That means your coach is going to have to make sure all of those, the defense is on point, special teams is on point, running backs are on point, offensive line's on point, to make up for the quarterback situation. And then, fine, Flacco can go in there and just manage the game, right? That's what you want. A guy who comes in, manages the game. But what happens if they don't play well? Your offensive line doesn't play too well in the game. Then it's going to come down to Flacco making his decisions. And I think at this point in his career, it ain't going to be good if it comes down to Flacco having the ball in the last 2 minutes of a game, right? 2 minutes to go. I don't trust in Flacco doing a drive. I'd rather have your Zach Wilson doing that drive over Flacco. I just don't trust your quarterback right now in the hands if it came down to the 2 minute, like a 2 minute drive. Like, I wouldn't trust Flacco. Not now in his career is what I'm saying.
I agree.
I just wouldn't. Like, okay. I just don't think he's a guy that could lead you guys to a 4-0 start or 3-1 start. Like, what? Like, for instance, your first 4 games, right? He's Flacco starting. You're saying, what would you want your record to be? What would you be comfortable with your record being out of those 4 games? Like, what could you deal with?
Honestly, I mean, 2-2, 3-1. I think we could. That could happen.
If you're a 3-1, then I can see you guys being a 9. If you guys are 3-1, I will say this: if you're 3-1 with Flacco before your quarterback comes back in, you'll be a 9-win team, in my opinion.
No, 100%.
But if you're not a 3-1, you would not be a 9-win team. You will be a 7-8 team, because that is a tough thing to bounce back from. In my opinion, if you're like, let's say 1-3 instead of 3-1, that's going to be a really tough thing to bounce back from. And like I said before, you got to hope your quarterback comes back and he's what he was, what you remember him being, because he's coming back from this injury, which was, non-contact injuries are the worst. They are the worst, right? Mentally and physically, he's going to have to be ready, right? Like, is he going to want to run? Is he going to be comfortable with it? He has had no contact up until coming in now, right? Like, he's probably not practicing physical contact. He's probably rehabbing. So it's mental as well,
Yeah, well, here's the thing is they had him, doing workouts as well. Like I said, I'm not a delusional fan. I look at it like this: if we are where we're supposed to be, we talk about I've talked with fans and I've had these discussions. We've dramatically improved our roster this offseason. We brought in so many different guys. We got Sauce, we got Whitehead, we got these guys. We have a very good.
I thought you had the best draft, by the way. I gotta say,
yeah.
I did give you guys. I thought you guys had a killer draft. I really did.
So it's not necessarily about like Joe Flacco doesn't have to carry everything. He doesn't, because our running game is going to be much improved this season. Are those tough teams? Yeah, like those are not cupcake games or anything like that. But you talked about it. You look at a lot of people are talking about already that, hey, and I just talked about it, that this game against the Ravens, there's some people that are counting us out. We could absolutely go in there and beat them, even with Joe Flacco. There's so many games, so many. so many games like that, going down schedule, even when you're talking about we're going to be matched up, we're going to, go in there against Cincinnati. We're going there against, the Steelers. We're going in there against Cleveland without Deshaun, playing. So there, when you look at it, like I said, I think 9 to 10 games is something that is very doable, especially with the uptick in talent that we have. We
But
have
they got
the
it.
receiving core
Yeah.
now.
But they
We
have to play to their ability, though, in order. That's my point with the Flacco situation.
Mm-hmm.
They have to play because how that works. Like you're expecting it, but that doesn't. You don't know that until you get on the field, right? Like,
of course,
on paper and what you saw in preseason, yes, of course. But coming out week 1, for instance, if you guys get smoked, and I don't think you are, but let's say that happens. Let's say everything you're saying doesn't come to fruition, right? Let's say your running backs your offensive line is a mess, and you just can't get the running game going, and you have to rely on Flacco, and it's just a bad showing, right? That's my point. I think Saleh, it's up to Saleh. Your head coach is really going to have to get these players to play to their best ability on game day until your quarterback gets back. In order for you guys to go 3-1, like everyone has to do their job, but they have to play it. They have to be their A games. Like I think if one of those positions break down, it's going to be a long 4 games. Is what I'm trying to say. You're going to have to lean heavily on that on the defense, especially on the offensive line too, because you're talking about your running game. Your offensive line is, let's say they don't step up and they take your running game away, and now you have to pass. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but then that's when the adjustments are made, and that's what Mike LaFleur showed us that he can do last season.
Yeah,
I think if you look at the Patriots and you talk about taking away, we take away the running game from them. Any team that you make one dimensional, you're gonna have to make the adjustments to take the next step. But I think that Mike LaFleur is going to be able to make those adjustments, especially with the weapons that we have. I just talked about the running game. Well, if you're taking that away and you're being sat up front, then we utilize our tight ends. That's when we utilize our wide receivers. The New York Jets have taken a step and uptick in talent, surrounding our quarterback. So, look, I'm not saying that Joe Flacco is going to come out and beat Patrick Mahomes. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, we all know that. But I am saying that I think we're good enough to compete and really be out there and win, like I said, 9 to 10 games. I know you guys are saying 7 to 8. We're really off by 1 game. But I think that we can be right there. I really do.
And I agree with you. And that's why I said I feel like this first game, I kind of thought last week, I did say I thought Baltimore might roll you. But I kind of changed my mind during that week as it went on, just kind of thinking about it. I really think because Baltimore, I think they're a little overhyped. I'll be honest with you. I don't think their offense is as good as people think. I think if you lock down Lamar, which I think if you guys play a good zone defense, but listen, Buffalo did it. In the playoffs, and everybody was talking about how Lamar is going to run all over us, and Baltimore is just going to crush us in the playoffs. And we totally took their passing game away and zoned Lamar, and he really made some bad decisions. You saw when the pressure was on, he was getting sacked in the backfield. He was throwing bad passes, threw a bad interception that pretty much ruined the game for him. So if you guys can take away Andrews, and like I said, a good thing about you were talking about the Andrews thing. If you guys play physical, even if you get some flags against Andrews, I would be okay with that if I'm a Jets fan. Play physical, let the refs call it here and there if they're going to call a flag here and there, but that's the way to do it.
That's the main event, Scott.
Take him out of the game, man. Yeah, take him out of the game and zone. I was zone and play a spy on Lamar, and I think you guys have a chance if you do that. Because other than that, I just don't see they have the weapons other than their tight end. That's it, and he's the main guy. You guys take him out of the game. You're going to take Lamar out of the game. Lamar's going to have to do. He's going to have magic. Really, honestly.
And another reason that I'm confident within Saleh and his defense is because I watched Saleh do it last season with a defense that was way less talented. I'm talking way less. If you go back and watch the New York Jets versus the Titans, which was an early game last season, people said the Titans were just going to smoke us, that they were just going to destroy us. I watched him scheme up a defense that really carried this football team when the offense was just in the dirt. And we ended up being able to come back and take that game because the defense was playing so well in that football game, particularly early in the season. So that's another thing that I think a lot of people are not talking about either, is the fact that our head coach is one of the better guys, one of the better defensive coordinators in the league. And that's literally one of the reasons why we brought him. We watched him do that in San Francisco, where he took a team that had a ton of injuries. I'm talking about a ton of them. And he was still able to go out there and produce a top defense with that, whatever he had left. And that was the year before we brought him here. And we saw the exact same thing. So I know that there's a lot of people that, some people, again, there's some Jets fans that think we can win more than that. I think, again, for me, 9 to 10 is a safe number for me.
Okay. We're off one game. We're not even that far.
I'll
be honest with you. We're not.
Yeah, just a question on the comments, so he's answering the question. So let's do predictions for the game. Let's give me a score. Start with Captain D.
For the Baltimore and New York Jets, this is going to be. I do believe the Jets are going to be building, and this is going to be a good franchise moving in the right direction. But Lamar Jackson all day, baby. I got the Ravens. I'm going to say 27-10.
Ooh, yikes.
Ooh, that's rough.
My goodness, Captain D.
That's rough. Mine is I'm going to go with 34-20. It sounds bad, but a 34-20 isn't the worst. I think the defense is going to wind up getting worn down by the end of the game, and then Lamar and them is going to wind up scoring a little bit more at the end because Joe Flacco's not going to be able to go down the field. There's going to tire out the defense as you go on. That's the only reason. It's just Flacco that bothers me. That's the only thing I don't like about this game. Is why I don't think he got a shot. It's because of him. I've seen him in other places. Not very good.
Yeah. I'm going 30-17 Baltimore. 30-17 Baltimore. I do, like I said before, it's what, but I think, again, Jet fans will appreciate more that at least their team's competitive. They're in the games. Like the first half of last season, they were just completely uninspired, like no direction whatsoever. But the last 5 games showed that, hey, there's some type of direction there, and just being able to be in it will make it's good enough, and it's also something that you can look forward to. I think that I originally had it last week. We talked about. I thought it was going to be it's not. It's
48-10, right?
Yeah, but then I said no. I said the way that the Jet team is built, like they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight really, really hard, and they're gonna show MetLife Stadium that, hey, we're not gonna be these pushovers anymore. So I'm gonna go. I think it'll be close, but they pull away late. 30-17 Baltimore.
Oh, Scott got your back, Joe. He said he's going 27-20.
Yeah.
Woo! See, you got somebody on your hat back. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah. I think it's gonna, like I said, I think it's gonna be closer than what you think. I think Baltimore wins, but I'm gonna say 24-20. I think it's a close game. I don't think Baltimore gets in the high 20s or 30s or whatever. I think they 24-20 I'm comfortable with. And I think the Jets have an opportunity to score, and they don't at the end. I think the Jets have the ball at the last possession, and they just go 3 and out or 4 and out or whatever. 24-20. I'm going Baltimore.
All right, Joe.
I'm going 23-17 Jets. That's what I'm going. I think this pass rush, I'm telling you, if it's as real as I've seen and I've talked about, and I'm telling you, the only thing I'm concerned about is us overrunning Lamar Jackson in pursuit of him. That is what I'm the most worried about, because he is so dangerous when he's able to move and extend plays with his feet in the pocket. I respect the Ravens. I think they're a phenomenal football team. But I really think that a lot of people are sleeping on us in this upcoming game, and I think it's going to be much closer. I don't think it's going to be as pretty as people think it is going to be, but I think that we're going to be able to protect Joe Flacco well enough to where we'll get the football downfield, we'll score where it needs to be, but our defense is really going to take it to them as far as rushing the passer.
We got a petition here from Miss Beth that Lamar may not look right because he might be distracted with the fact that he had no contracts. It might affect his play. That's a possibility. I don't know. All right. I'm going to ask one question before we move on to the main event. Two AFC East teams going against each other. A couple more to save a little bit of time. But let me ask, because we talked a lot about the Jets and their way of rebuilding and the fact that they have so much talent, killed the draft in 2022. But in your guys' opinion, how should a team build their franchise in the era of 2022? Super Bowl caliber roster. We already have one Super Bowl caliber roster here in the AFC East in the Buffalo Bills. Is that the way to do it, the way they've done it for the past 4 years? Or is there are multitude of ways? Because we have different schemes coming out. We have running schemes coming. We have pass only. We have defensive heavy. Like, what is the way, in your opinion, your guys, the way to build a franchise in today's era of the NFL?
Starting with, who do you want to start with?
Anybody.
All right, I'll start. I'll start. So listen,
damn roster.
Yeah. So it's not as, I don't think it's as easy as that. I think it starts with your owner hiring the right GM and hiring the right coach. And then they all gotta, I always say this, they gotta link up like a chain, right? Because you can get a good coach and he doesn't see eye to eye with the GM. And then now you got a mess, right? The GM wants this guy, the coach wants this guy, the coach wants to play this guy, but the GM says, no, play this guy. Then the owner gets involved. No, trade this. You have to have that connection, right? Right off the get, right? If they're all in a connection, boom. All right, what are we going to do as a team? Hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, let's say they're going on a bad team, right? Get rid of those contracts. Start fresh, in my opinion, right? You start fresh. You build through the draft, right? Then you build around the quarterback with the offensive line. The offensive line is so key, man. But the draft is everything. You got to get the right quarterback in, and then you got to get the right offensive line. Also, too, having a veteran quarterback is so important when you draft a young quarterback. I say it over and over again. A lot of these teams, when these quarterbacks come in, they don't have veteran quarterbacks, and it kind of ruins them. It messes them up because they start right away. Things don't go good. They don't build an offensive line. They don't have weapons for them. Not a lot of these quarterbacks don't bounce back mentally, right? They just doesn't matter. Their career is done because they can't overcome what happened to them, which was being on a bad team and they lost their confidence, right? Some quarterbacks get out of that, very rare. So, yeah, to me, man, honestly, it all starts with the three. It starts with the owner, the GM, and the coach, and then it goes to the players. If you have that in motion, I think your team can go very far because everything else will connect, man. The draft will go good for you guys because everyone's seeing eye to eye. I mean, like I said, man, I've seen some great Buffalo Bills teams, in my opinion, that were terrible, 8-8 records, and I thought the roster was really good, but because of bad coaching or bad GM or they're brought in a bad guy in the locker room, it just didn't work out, and then you start all over again. It's like a cycle, right? You get a new GM, a new coach. Now you fire the coach. Now the GM's still in place. Now the GM gets fired. Now this guy's coming to town. Like, it's a never-ending cycle. But if you get that in place, man, and they could be there forever, and you guys can then you start to build a really good team and a good franchise. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
All right.
We got people draft and GM. Continuity is his big word that he likes there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that a lot of what Tommy said was completely true. Is making sure that your general manager and coach are on the same page. I think that's one of the biggest issues that's gone on here for years with the New York Jets and why we've been so bad these years past is because our general manager and our head coach was always never on the same page ever. Often we would hire a coach and then hire a general manager after that, which is ridiculous. Like that's stuff that can't happen. So you have to have a uniform kind of structure because it all starts from that. Of course, the draft is big as well. That's your biggest wealth of talent because it's your cheapest wealth of talent, right? Because when you bring these guys in, they come in on contracts. Now, when you're talking about building, I think another thing that the Bills did right, and I always say this, is that they got their young quarterback and then they built around him while he was cheap. That's the big thing now. These guys, especially quarterbacks in particular, are making tons of money. When it's time to get them on that second contract, you look Lamar Jackson is probably asking for is probably somewhere around whatever Patrick Mahomes is making, which he owns literally half of Kansas City, right? Like he's making an astronomical amount of money. You look at guys that can just hold the fort. I mean, Ryan Tannehill was making somewhere around 27, 28 million at one point per season. That was Ryan Tannehill when, the Titans said, hey, he could be a guy that can hold the fort for us. So when you get these young guys on these cheap rookie contracts, it is important to build around them quickly so you can have the success that Tommy and the Bills are having over there. You look at, they brought in Stephon Diggs. They did all these moves are done. Why? He was cheap. We got to do whatever we can now, because once it's time to pay Josh Allen, it's going to be a lot harder to build around him, because he's going to eat up about a quarter of your cap every year. Like, it is what it is. He's going to make that much money. So that's the big thing as well, is making sure that you build around your quarterbacks when they're cheap, and you draft well. Drafting well can turn your franchise around quickly.
That is a good point about chemistry too. Don't get full superstars, because, like you said, they might just only think about them. That's probably more of a basketball thing. We don't see that much in NFL, because that salary cap doesn't allow that to happen. But in the NBA, that's a huge problem. And then something that Tommy touched on earlier about Lamar repping himself will backfire. Too effing greedy.
Yeah, that's to me. I mean, I get what I understand. Maybe what he's thinking, but it's not I'll admit, I gotta say, it's not a smart decision when it's coming down to that kind of money to represent yourself. That's not what you do. You're not in the business of being an agent. You're a football player. Get an agent who can go back and forth, that knows how to talk to these owners, because the thing is, he may feel like he's worth more than he should be, or maybe less. It just gets really tricky. Emotions come involved. With an agent, there's no emotions. He's out for your best interest, and that's it. He's going to bring it to you. Either you can accept it or not. Listen, I think as a boxer, if you have no guy in charge of you, that's fine. Totally different. You could set the tone. But a football player, man, it's really different. There's a lot of things that he probably doesn't know, and I don't know him that well, but I mean, that an agent might know more about the ins and outs of a contract is what I'm trying to say. Like, Lamar Jackson would really have to know that world of being an agent. I'm just saying, I personally, I get where he's coming from, but in the same time, man, it's a dangerous slope that you're representing yourself. It is, in my opinion. I think you need somebody.
There's a reason why they get an education.
I don't think it's. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Tommy, but I don't think it's as. I think he's clearly getting advisement from somebody on people, a table, a round table, on people. He's not just going out there and like just kind of thinking.
It's just odd. It's just odd. It's odd they haven't. Like, usually when there's something heating up, contracts heating up, they would report it. You know what I mean? And it just seems like if anything I've heard, it's just talk. The talks are gone. They're not on. Like, you know what I mean? They're not seeing eye to eye. That means they got to be far away from what Lamar is expecting, or what he feels he's worth, which once again goes back to he's representing himself. So of course he's going to feel like he's worth the most, right? Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't
know.
Yeah, I think a big thing for him again is I think he's looking again to bet on himself, because he knows his worth. Like, I mean, players today, as we all know, they're very educated, they're very savvy about how to deal with the media, all that stuff. So I'm very sure whatever his round table, or whoever's advising him, are people that clearly have an idea and pulse of what's going on in the NFL. I'm pretty sure he wants something near or exceeding whatever Mahomes has there. So I think I don't necessarily have an issue with players doing their own deals or being their own agent, because there's other guys that have been too. Richard Sherman was his own agent for a while, and he did well doing his thing. So
Richard,
I understand.
Yeah, I get that. But you think that Lamar is up there though? Like, you're saying Patrick Mahomes type money. So I'm about the money, right? So you're saying Lamar might feel, hey, I'm the best in the league, right? I don't care what anyone says. And maybe Baltimore doesn't feel that. Maybe Baltimore feels like he's a top 5, right? And there's the problem. They're going to say, okay, we feel like you're this kind of money, right? Lamar, to me, I'll be real with you. I like Lamar. I think he has a great game, but I think he's also limited in some of his stuff. I don't think he's the greatest passer in the world. Okay, I also think that style of play is short-lived in the NFL. I think that's what worries I think that's what worries Baltimore, in my opinion. Is that. And not only that, they haven't even built around him, which is odd. Really odd for that. So if they go and pay him this huge money, right? Kind of like Aaron Rodgers, right? Who's complaining about not having any receivers, all that, and then he takes a huge contract. So now they don't even have money to go out and get a receiver, right? They're going to have to draft one, which is their fault. They didn't draft one. But Baltimore, if they go and pay him, then he's going to have to know they're going to be very limited in adding resources around him, right? If he's expecting this massive contract. And it seems like right now players are going for that guarantee. That is the contract, because who cares if the contract is $250 million, but if guaranteed is 189 or whatever, that's the key. If only guarantees 150, he's going to walk for the 185 somewhere else. You know what I mean? The guarantee, that's all it's about at the end. So I guarantee he wants something crazy.
I'll just leave it at this. I hope that Lamar gets his. I think he deserves his contract. I think he's being even though it's a dangerous gamble playing the season without his big contract, but I think he is doing the right. Maybe not the smartest thing, but he is doing the right thing, and he's going to prove himself. But it's a damn shame that Deshaun Watson got paid. And this man who is doing the right thing, and the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm just going to leave it right there. That's a whole other subject, but that is a damn shame.
That's Cleveland Browns. That's the Browns.
All right, thank you.
I'm just gonna.
I'm not even touching that, but I just wanted to get back to Lamar Jackson really quickly. Listen, I hear what you're saying, Tommy, but here's the deal. He was a MVP, I believe, in 2000. I think it was 2019. This guy. I understand a lot of people try to point to it's a limited style of play and all this other stuff. No, you can also point to the fact, and you kind of brought it up, they haven't ever really got him real weapons. Yeah. Like he hasn't had really wideouts to throw to. And again, it's not like you can't just be an MVP and not be able to throw the football as a quarterback. He's very good from the pocket. Now, here's the deal. With the franchise, like, that's on the franchise. If they're not drafting guys that can stick, or they're not drafting guys that he can constantly go to, that's on them not doing their jobs. But it goes to show that even with him playing the way that he's played, being an MVP and having to deal with all of that, that tells you his value. That tells you that. That tells you. Yeah. And again, I'm not. I think for me personally, I believe that Lamar kind of went in thinking that this was going to be the year he was going to do a prove it thing. That's honestly what I think he was going to do either way.
I agree.
Because the money's there. If he wanted to take it, he would take it. I think he said, "Look, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to ball out, and then they really going to have to pay me, or they're going to have to move me, and I'm going to get paid anyway." So that's how I think it's gonna go.
That's what he's hoping.
That's what I think he thought from the start.
He better hope he stays healthy, like Captain D said. That's a key thing that he doesn't. Because you could bet on yourself, but you could also lose on that bet, right? That's a big bet. But we'll see, man. Look, Dak Prescott did the same thing, broke his ankle and still got paid. So it's very possible. It's very possible.
Let's get back to the division, because we're literally getting screamed at in the comment section.
We are.
We?
Wow, man, we're getting screamed at. So let's go on to the main event. I'm sorry, Scott. I apologize. Let's go back to the division that actually matters in the show. Let's go on to the AFCs. Let's go on to the main event. The New England Patriots going on to face the Miami Dolphins, something that I feel like happens a lot in the past few years. Always have to go to freaking Miami. Why not, right? All right, so let's preview this. We're gonna start off with Tommy about this. We Captain D and us, but we'll go last because it is our game. We're going against each other. No, let's start with Joe. I'm sorry. Let's start with Joe.
Yeah, go Joe. Yeah.
What do you think? How this game is gonna go? Who's your pick? And you also will say your predictions too, to save a little bit of time, because we're already running in 2 hours. I always say we always go over. Yeah, so let's go with it.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting game. Man, the Dolphins with Gesicki, but my biggest thing with the Dolphins is Tua. I don't know what he's going to be. He's just such a question mark. His accuracy is a question mark. It's always been a question mark. But of course, he's got weapons. With Hill and all the stuff they've been able to do. And so I think the Dolphins are much improved. That defense is solid as well. I look at New England, and I think New England's a good football team. I'm worried about their weapons as well. They don't have much out there for their QB. Their defense is pretty tough, but just to save time, I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I'm gonna take the Dolphins. to beat the Patriots. I'm going to go 24-14. 24-14, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Apparently, according to Stott, it's going to be a tie because that's what he wants. That's good. Go ahead,
Oh
Tommy.
my God! Look, I say, listen, Long Beach Joe. I agree with the Tua thing. I've been saying that and it's really not his fault. I got to tell you, I feel so bad for him. I do, because I felt like Miami just messed with him since his rookie year, right? Trying to get rid of him, trying to trade him, talks to get Brady, and now you got a new coach coming in, right? And they got all the crap going on with your old coach. Now your owner, he just never really had a good opportunity there. Maybe now he does. He has a new head coach coming in. He has Tyreek Hill, his second-year receiver, the rookie. I forget his name. Yeah, Waddle. It should have another good year. And now he has Hill. So he has two major weapons that are both speedsters out of the backfield. Offensive line's a little questionable. I will say that, which is weird. They still haven't yet really addressed that, which is so important. But Tua is still a question mark because, one, not only about really his play, but mentally, is he back? Does he really believe in himself after everything that he knows went on in Miami, them trying to move him out of town? Is he really starting to believe that his coach believes in him, right? And that the players really truly believe that he is the guy in Miami that's going to lead them to the playoffs. Going on New England's side of things, I don't understand what the hell that Belichick's doing. And even though he's one of the best coaches ever, probably is the best coach ever, I just think it was a huge mistake by Kraft letting him control the team as far as GM. His drafts have been miserable, in my opinion. And his main piece, Tom Brady, who, is not there. And now it's starting to crumble down on Belichick. I got to be real with you because the GM was not his thing, right? And he got away with not the greatest picks because he had the greatest quarterback of all time controlling the show. And now you take away the coordinator who left, and you bring in Patricia, who's terrible, who's a defensive coach. I don't even understand that. He's not even a good defensive coach. You bring him in to offense coordinator with Joe Judge, and now you got this tug of war going on with a system quarterback and Mac Jones, who worked well under their old offensive coordinator, now has a whole new setup with who knows what the hell's going on there. J.C. Jackson is gone. I just think things are starting to crumble down on Belichick and on that New England. So I'm going to take Miami in this game. I do think it's going to be low scoring though, because one thing I will say about Bill is he always brings the defense, no matter what. He just knows how to scheme against quarterbacks, especially younger quarterbacks, rookie head coaches, which Miami has. So I got to give that little edge to the coaching for sure. But I'm going to say low scoring game, 23-20, Dolphins win.
Okay. All right, Ms. Beth. Dolphins beat the Patriots. Zero confidence past the last season and that postseason. We don't talk about that here. Not on this channel. We don't do that here. Yeah, there's a reason why all my Patriot stuff is in the corner of my house. They have till 12 p.m. tomorrow for the probation to finally be over, and I can put Patriots up in my house again. All right. Now, okay. If you guys are expecting me to be a homer and say all these great things about the Patriots, you clearly have never seen this channel in the 3 years that we've been around, because we don't do that here.
We don't do that here.
The concerns I have about the New England Patriots are exactly the same as yours, Tommy. This team, I have no mother trucking idea what they are doing at all. And what doesn't help is that the one little bright spot the team had at wide receiver in Tyquan Thorne, who had one of the best fastest times in the 40 time, is on the shelf with a broken collarbone. So we ain't gonna see him till probably October or something like that. Maybe even further. So the one field stretcher that the Patriots actually got is gone. So we're gonna go back to the run pass, simple stuff maybe that we've seen in the past. It worked against bad teams. However, the Miami Dolphins actually improved their roster. So they will not be as bad on offense as they were a year ago, we think. That's the one bright spot for the Patriots in this game. Again, we said this last week about the Dolphins. Everything is new, and it is very rare or impossible for things to get put together on kickoff on week 1. So that is the one bright spot I will say that the Patriots have. That Belichick should be, and we're going to assume it is the better coach in this game. We're going to assume that is going to be able to come up with schemes that Mike McDaniel is not going to know what the hell to do about, and there is a chance for New England to capitalize on that. However, I'm still going with the Dolphins. My score is extremely similar to Tommy's in 24-20 instead of 23-20 Dolphins. We have the same mentality. Yeah. No, as much as I try to give a bright spot for the Patriots, no.
I love the realism. By the way, real quick before you talk, Trevor, I will say this, Joe, because it's the first time you come on here. Tua is like the hottest conversation when it comes to the AFC shakedown.
Yes. If you look at the comment section, not today, but before, right. Oh my gosh, dude.
It's always Dolphins talk. It's either Dolphins and then Patriots. Believe it or not, even on my channel, it's like, we'll talk a little Bills, but the comments are like, so what about Tua? What about what about this back to? I'm like, what is going on? They always want to talk about the Dolphins and Tua. It is what it is. Go ahead, Trevor. Sorry, man.
Yeah, this one comment from Beth. I know Captain D's going to get on that. Can he stay healthy or not? What's his deal? We got one. And Scott being the best freaking supporter that this show has by a freaking mile. Well, the excuse for today is that we're not on Tommy's normal channel. If we were on Tommy's channel, we could do that. But since we're on our channel, we ain't as awesome as Tommy is yet. We can't get any tips right now.
You'll get there. You're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll definitely will get there, but we're not on Tommy's level yet. Not yet.
Okay. I'm a mirror what most of Juan said. If you think you're gonna get a home response out of me, it's not happening. Pretty much what Juan said is exactly how I feel. Especially watching during the preseason is like, what, as far as offense is concerned, where do you go from here? Like, where do we go from here? You know what I'm saying? It literally, to me, was like kind of like one dimensional by default, because it's either going to run the ball or a screen pass to the running back, or Hunter Henry will be open. Other than that, it'll be very one dimensional. The little dinky dink punt that we always do. But we take away the run game. Who's doing the ball? So I know we have Devontae Parker, yes. So but can he stay healthy?
Can he separate? Forget healthy. Can he get open?
That too.
No.
And then and also you have Nelson Aguilar. Like, can he catch the football? Like,
no.
Alligator hands. Like, what is this? You're paying alligator hands $50 million a year. You know what I'm saying?
Not a year. Chill.
No.
Whoa.
$50 million for the entire contract.
Thank you. Whoa.
To me, that's too much. But like. 18 million dollars a year. So alligator hands, come on, it's ridiculous. And then I mentioned before, I'm not gonna go into this rant again with the two coordinators. Like, you have someone who has never ever called offensive plays since graduate school, in Matt Patricia.
He also sucks.
And he sucks too. Like, the fact that we brought him back just pisses me off. And you got Joe Judge. Like, really? Like, I need to see any more about him.
That was part of the crazy rant last week, right? You want to see that crazy rant go back to last week?
Shakedown
episode.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And you can see that.
For the most part, offensively was probably one of the biggest issues. Defensively, again, they're going to bring it over time. Like, defensively sound is not as the best we had like last year. But I think that we'll be able to hold our own as far as like.
Apparently, Tommy's busy calling him Mr. Mike Ferraro. Damn, Tommy, damn.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go. Like I said, and it's in Miami. We somehow can't win in Miami at all. Either, to me, it doesn't matter where we play the Dolphins in, whether it's in the beginning of the year, end of the year in Miami. We always struggle there. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I am going to go with the Miami Dolphins to win this game. Very ugly, but defensive. Yeah, very ugly. I have them winning 17-10.
And I will say this before Captain D goes. Sorry, Captain D, we didn't give you no fight. My bad. So you could be very happily talking your ish, and we're not going to retort. At least not yet.
Not yet, at least.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now. I didn't even say this in our own show yet. If this team struggles this entire season, it's time for senile Bill to retire. Go.
Whoa.
Wow.
I'm putting it right now.
Damn, that is a big
I
statement.
Wow.
wanted to say this since 2019 when Tom
Wow.
Brady, the year Tom Brady left. Mind you, you won a Super Bowl the year before that. But I smelled this a long time ago.
Wow.
All these draft stuff, I smelled it a long time ago. I've been holding my tongue for 3 years. Here we go. I'm sorry. It's time. And I'm hoping. Oh, I'm dead. I'm sorry, guys. Let me put it up. God,
Scott.
dang, man.
Scott's
Tommy
rough
has
on me.
even a podcast
He's so,
on Lamar. Oh wait,
he's so tough on me, man.
But yeah, I'm going as far as to say that. And I have a small feeling that Kraft might be on my side too.
Oh man.
Bob Kraft might be on my side too. He might be getting sick of this offense looking like crap since Tom Brady left. I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm just saying. All right, Captain D, floor is yours, man.
I am appalled. I am.
Well, you are
Whoa.
a big Mac Jones
Oh,
lover.
I
forget
am.
that.
Appalled by these comments that are being made.
Oh
I'm
man.
looking. Let me just scroll up through my phone real quick. But 10-7. You guys made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys lost the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, and is still in the mix. Being even with the Buffalo Bills, who are forced, the Jets, who are trying to get, they're trying to get back there, and the Dolphins were always trying to figure our shit out. I am appalled by those comments because, and this statement goes back to how would I build my franchise, and it's of course you need a good owner, you need a good GM, but it's coaching. That's what it is. It's coaching. Jimmy Johnson never got completely along with the owner
Jerry
of
Jones.
with Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys, but it's coaching, and you guys have a great coach, awesome coach. He knows how to put his players in the right positions. That being said, if you, and I'll try and keep this short, but if you really look at this game, there's some key injuries on the Dolphins side, and we're obviously missing Byron Jones. We're missing our safety, and so there's some issues going on there. But I think what it boils down to is just game changers and talent, and that is going to be Tyreek Hill, that's going to be Jalen Waddle, and that's going to be the scheme of this, and that's just matching up playmaker versus playmaker. That's what this is going to come down to. And even though I always preach that it's always on the trenches and stuff like that, but that's what this is going to come down to is the playmakers. And right now we got some big time, and I'm mostly talking about Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle is going to be a big surprise not a big surprise, but and I'm just keeping it honest, but those are the big game changers, and game changers, they make a huge difference. And I believe we saw that even in the Buffalo game. When I was looking at that game, I was like, there's Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis he's being a game changer. Stephon Diggs. When I looked at the Rams side of the ball, I was like, I don't see game changers. 10-10 going in half, and I just didn't see that coming. I'm like, they're lucky. I didn't see that in the Rams going in, in the game. I was like, who's going to make a play for the Rams? Matthew Stafford's going to make a play? Who on offensively is going to make a play for the Rams? Now, the Bills, they have an exuberant amount of playmakers. So when I look at this game, it's going to be tight, but we got some playmakers that are going to make the difference. That's
So
what
what's
I
your
feel.
score?
My score, I'm going to go 27-10 Dolphins.
Cool.
Okay.
Whooping.
So, before I go on that, Scott is just disrespectful. I don't know.
And to answer Scott's question, they did all that to still end up with Tua.
That's crazy. But now, you just went on that beautiful soliloquy about talent, right? But yet, what I said about my own coach / GM is outrageous. When what the
fluff talent do we have to compare to the division? What was the talent?
Well, I think
you got to get punished
yeah.
for being a shit GM. Excuse my French, Mr. Joe, but like that's why it's not the coach I'm punishing. It's GM Bill, and he's not gonna let go of that position, which is why I said he has to go. Because if I can't have just the coach, because if I can have just the coach, I'm okay with everything him staying. But he's gonna have to give up that GM job. I feel like for us to at some point be relevant again. But he's been absolutely dreadful as a GM.
Well,
for
yeah,
10 years. So what's up with it, man?
I do think that even though you guys haven't made big hits in the draft, he's great with making the best out of what he has and realizing what talents certain players have.
Yeah, but
and, wait, let me and utilizing those players to the best talents, and also in free agency. I remember the Corey Dillon pickups and all, and making the best out of these players. You know what I mean? You have to remember, Rodney Harrison was a late draft too. These are all great players.
You know what I love though?
You know why that? Yeah, but you know what's a great? It doesn't. Yeah, he made the best out of what he had, but he also, to your point earlier, he has the greatest quarterback of all time on his team, so he can get away with. Right, but you don't have the greatest D, but they don't have the greatest quarterback of all time now. You got Mac Jones. He's far from greatest quarterback of all time. He is assistant quarterback as of now. Will he get better? Sure, maybe. I don't know. But to Juan's point, GM Bill brung in offensive coordinators who were never offensive coordinated before. So who's really calling the offensive plays? Right? Is it Judge? Is it Patricia? Is it Bill? Right? That's one. Two, you're not going to be able to get away with mediocre talent with a young quarterback who's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not going to drive you down the field and make those plays happen. That's what Tom Brady does. Tom Brady can go to any team pretty much. Look what he did in Tampa. Tampa never won the Super Bowl. First year, boom, Super Bowl won. And they had the Mike Evans, who's talented. But he didn't need him. When New England, right? Their talent was good. Their best receiver ever was Randy Moss, and they didn't win a Super Bowl that year. So I don't care about the talent. It's about the quarterback. Tom Brady was the best quarterback who can lead a team full of average players, in my opinion, on offense. He can make them better. A good quarterback can make an average player look better. In my opinion, he can. Tom Brady can. Bro, Tom Brady was making the Tampa receiver, I forget his name, and everyone's like, oh, this guy's good. I forget his name, Scott or – that guy wouldn't – yeah, Scotty Miller. That guy, come on. Make a Scotty Miller look good. Scotty Miller would not look good anywhere else. He looks good in Tampa because he has Tom Brady throwing to him. And why? Because Tom Brady's Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady can make those passes. He can buy the time. He can step in the pocket. That's what Tom Brady does. Mac Jones can't do that. He can't. Not now. No, maybe in the future you'll get a little better.
The only reason why I say is that if I were a New England Patriots fan and drafting a rookie quarterback and seeing what we were at 10-7 and making the playoffs and looking at the body of work what the New England Patriots have done, how many rings, I would feel a lot more confident in my franchise, my owner, my coaching staff. You have to look at everything in a body, and I say that as what it's I don't understand the thinking of that.
What free agents has Bill brung in though? I'm just telling you. Since
Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith.
Okay, Jonnu Smith has not been good at all. Was not good as he was here. All right, Henry, fine. Henry had a pretty good year. Wasn't excellent though. Pretty good year. Other than that though, drafted N'Keal Harry, who's not even on the team anymore. Okay, he's offensive line is. It's okay. It's nothing that special. Running backs, they've always had these bruiser type running backs. I like Stevenson actually. I think Stevenson's going to be your bright spot this year, in my opinion. Other than that, though, what free agent has Bill brung in to help Mac Jones or any since Tom Brady's come in as far as receiver goes or drafted? Listen, you guys had they had the highest. Bill Belichick spent the most money he's ever spent last year in free agency, right? And they got him to 10 games, but it wasn't enough on offense. Their offense was mediocre. It was. That's the truth. You could say what you want. It relied on their defense and what Bill Belichick did on defense. Like all the games they were in because of the defense. Their offense wasn't blowing teams out. When Mac Jones really needed to step up, you saw what Mac Jones was about. Like he was a rookie quarterback who's learning. That's all.
I think what my
And I'm not saying he won't get better. I'm not saying that.
When you're good, as long as and I think it's fair to say this, and as tough as this is me to say, is when you have a dynasty that long, and then a player like Tom Brady leaves, and you see the certain additions that are not as pretty and not as what people want, but there's still a core there of what they're doing, what they're coaching, what they're picking, and it's not the prettiest, nicest picks that everyone wants, but I mean, I remember plenty of years that James White was running all over us, and people were doing rant, and I was just like, "What is this? Like, are you kidding me? Who is James White right now? You know what I mean? Like, there was plenty of years that I saw this, and I'm like, I respect that. So all I'm saying is that yes, there's not attractive names that are coming in, but look at the records. They were in second place in our division last year.
Mm-hmm.
Need I say more?
Yeah.
They were 10-7, and they made the playoffs. I'm just saying.
And to D's point, and to D's point, I just want to say this, and but this to me is I understand what he's saying, that it sounds crazy, is because there's been so much winning, but when Tom Brady left, I think what it exposed as well is to win so much for so long. This is kind of like a rebuilding kind of thing for the Patriots. They're gathering more talent. Yeah, Tom Brady, one of the greatest of all time, whatever, he covered up a lot of those things. But think about how many teams have to rebuild often or go through this process and lose. This is rebuilding, and they're going to the playoffs. They're 10-7 going to the playoffs in a year where they're still trying to figure things out. Yeah, the drafts may not be great, but again, when you look at the Patriots, a lot of their drafts haven't been great, and they were winning Super Bowls. And they were pushing in the playoffs. I remember for years, how was that, like a 4 or 5 year stretch, D? I'm pretty sure you remember everybody was like, Patriots are dead this year. They're not going anywhere. And then at the end of the year, they were in the playoffs and push to make a Super Bowl. Even, Tom Brady's last couple of years there, they were saying they were dead. So I just think that I hear what you're saying, Sports Dynasty, and I get it. The frustration is there. You guys have won quite a lot. I understand what that's like on another side, okay, as a Lakers fan. But it's like, just to talk about firing him, like, or wanting him to step away, I think is a little, maybe you want to see a couple more years and see what's going on. But again, Mac Jones being a rookie quarterback too, that plays a part into it as well. Them trying to mask some of the things. I think that y'all might want to slow down with that, because you could fall into a situation that you don't want to be in, Sports Dynasty, where you don't have a guy like Belichick, and you'll suffer like we've been suffering. Okay, I know what it's like. Yeah, I know what it's like to not have a guy like Belichick, and you see that. So I hear what you're saying, but I just look at it from that standpoint.
Well, my report to all that.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a lot. When you're talking about rebuilding, right? My internet.
You're good. You're good. You were frozen.
All right. I'm gonna give you a couple names. I'm gonna give you Devin McCourty, right? I'm gonna give you Dante Hightower. I'm gonna give you Lawrence Guy. I'm gonna give you Juwan Bentley. I'm gonna give you J.C. Jackson, right? Jonathan Jones. I'm gonna give you some names there, right? Outside of Lawrence Guy, all the other guys has been there for about 5 or 6 years when that everything was still established. Who are the new faces that I'm gonna name that's gonna be able to replace the guys that I just said? So we got Kyle Duggar, that's one of them, right? We have Judon, who's one of the only good outside of Hunter Henry, the only good free agent pickup for the team, even though he disappeared last year. But that's another story for another day. But other than that, who we got? Because I can give you, and I have half of mine now because of this conversation next week, to give you a whole scroll of all the busts. And you notice how my arms keep going up and up and up and down and down and down? All the busts and bad picks that this man has made in the last 10 years. And I can include free agent signings too. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that where my point still stands in where's talent. All the guys that I named are guys that have been in the system for at least 3 to 4 years since the 2018 Super Bowl was won. and they're not getting any younger, and I don't see replacements when you had 4 drafts to kind of replace that, and I don't see nothing yet. So I understand where you coming from and telling me that you need to calm your butt down, because just because creating doesn't mean that the retooling, that's the term good teams like to use before they actually hit the dirt. Retooling, not rebuilding, retooling. But are we really retooling is a question that has to be asked. And like what Tommy said earlier, the coaching staff thing is actually the biggest mess I've seen in a multitude of years. It's like he didn't see Josh McDaniels actually getting a job when he's been praised by the NFL for like 5 years. He completely caught him by surprise because he had no backup plan for offensive play caller, who probably deserves the credit for what Captain D was saying, that they got 10 wins because the offense was just good enough. McDaniels was the ones calling the plays for him. I'm just saying, I think what I'm saying is not crazy. It's maybe out there, but I don't think it's crazy. I think that GM Bill needs to be punished somehow. But that's what this year is for.
Yeah, I agree. Not only that,
I'm gonna tell you this too. I'm gonna tell you this too. If I'm wrong, I still benefit at the end of the day. So I mean,
right. That's true, right?
I want nothing more than to be wrong and look like an idiot on the week 1 preview. But
we all can agree he's the best, probably the best coach ever. But we're talking, is he the best GM ever? Like, no, like that's, I think, and Bill Belichick has that thing about him. He is not going to let that position go. If Kraft says, hey, I'm going to get a GM in here, Bill Belichick will retire, or he will walk away, or he'll go somewhere else. He is not letting that position go. And that is the problem. Like, listen, coach GM it doesn't even hardly work in basketball. A lot of sports, when you do that coach GM, it's dangerous. It really is, man. And it's showing. To his point, his drafts have been bad. Like, there is no getting around that. He has not had good drafts. And to your point earlier, when we were talking about, we were asked about what makes a good team, like building a team, all that stuff. We started with the GM, the coach, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're doing both and you're failing at one, but you're really great at the other, that's a problem. It's not connecting. And that's where I think Bill has it's starting to hit home with New England, because they had Tom Brady there who can kind of carry that bad drafting into the playoffs. And like to Captain D said, yeah, they got into the playoffs last year, but we made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. That means nothing. Sometimes teams do have those decent seasons. It's true. Hey, I'm being honest with you. Listen, I'm being honest with you. Not listen.
Tommy,
that happens. Happens.
No, Tommy.
That happens.
The New York
I don't
Jets
think they were that good.
The New York Jets have not been. I'm sorry. I know because I got to go in a second, but
go ahead.
The New York Jets have not made the playoffs in 10 years. Do you know how agonizing that this has been? That
we didn't make it in 17.
Huh?
We didn't make it in 17. I know.
I'm saying, but you know, so it's like, just to say, look, my thing is this, is that I get it, Sports Dynasty, I get it. And I understand you guys have a standard and you've won a lot and you want to keep that going. But what I am saying is, before you guys talk about him walking away and y'all think it's going to be really easy, and I'm sure Captain D knows this as well, because maybe you didn't say it was easy. I know it's going to be tough. But but I don't think you understand how tough it can be. I don't think you truly understand how deep this water could be this pool could be that you're going to dive in. Okay, I get it. He's made some mistakes in the draft, clearly, right? We talk about that, but even with the mistakes in the draft, he's going 10-7 and he's making the playoffs, even with a rookie quarterback. Right. And I think they had a game this year where he didn't even throw the ball. I think one game or something like that, where they just
I don't know if that was
he ran the ball more than they threw. It was something. Yeah, I think it was
against the Bills.
I don't know.
Attacking me, Joe.
I'm not attacking. I'm not doing that. But what I'm just saying that, call me when you guys are when you only win in 4 games 2-3 years in a row. That's when we can say, okay, it's over. This man is still going 10-7. still making the playoffs, still beating teams. Good. He beat teams last year nobody thought they were going to beat, and made them look very amateur at that. He's coaching circles around people, and he's been doing it for years. He literally has invented offensive sets, offensive formations. They've done that. and so it's like, I'm not saying that, you guys don't have a right to be a little concerned, but saying that, like, it's time, if we struggle, it's time. It's like, come on. He had a rookie quarterback last season, and Mac still looked good. Mac looked really good, especially as a rookie. So that's all I'm saying. I want to pass it over to D because I want to get his thought. I know sports.
What would be interesting is to rewind and see what the predictions were last year with the Patriots coming off of losing Tom Brady.
Yes,
what the predictions would be. And I'll just leave it at that because, I always said it. I believe in Mac Jones. I do. Does he have all the gadgets in the world? No, but I believe he works great for the New England Patriots. And but that being said, the Dolphins are winning tomorrow, and we're pulling we're pulling that off.
Right. But one real quick thing, you're also talking about a 10-win team last year, Joe, that was on a coordinator who knows the system, been there a long time, right? Knows the personnel very well. Mac Jones now is going to this year. If you think they're going to win 10 games, I'm just saying the same record or even better with two coordinators that have never done it before, who failed as head coaches. You think that Bill Belichick's going to magically make them better at coordinator and get the systems is the same? I don't believe it. I'm just saying. Now we'll see. I have no idea.
No.
I have no idea
until
the season
Tommy,
starts.
But here's the deal: is we're also sitting here acting like this doesn't happen every year with the Patriots. They constantly get their coaches poached. We know that. They've lost Matt Patricia before. They've had Josh Daniel leave before. They've had Wisenhunt leave before. They had, what was the I can't remember the other defensive coordinator. He was kind of a chubby guy. They had him leave before. Romeo Cornell. Yeah, they had Romeo Cornell leave before. They've had these guys leave before, and people were saying the exact same thing. Oh, because I'm telling you, as a Jets fan, I've had to sit down with Jets players and tell other Jets fans, tell them it's not over till it's over with the Patriots. Until I see them dead and in the casket, I'm not believing that they're dead. I've seen this happen before, and then they come back and they look solid. And they're still able to move the ball. They're still able to get into the playoffs. They're still able to make the push. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're going to go and win another 4 or 5 Super Bowls. We don't know that. But what I am saying is I will never discount Belichick and that Patriot uniform, ever. Because I've seen it bite people in the behinds over and over.
They got mad at
over
Cole
again.
Strange. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
They got mad at Cole Strange. I'm like, smart move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And we're gonna go because we're hitting 2 hours and a half, and Tommy looked like he ready to jump off the chair. So I'm gonna say 3 things. Like we already said our schedule, and we're gonna go. Have you ever heard the phrase "It's not over till it's over"? That's what you're saying right now, right? But I don't think there's anything in this planet that's infinite. Things end at some point. Just think about that, right? I'm just saying, it's true. 2, the coordinator this time is different. It's not the same as other times. Those other times he has somebody in his coaching staff that was actually competent and was prepared to take over because he knew they were going to leave. This time, I don't think he has somebody ready to take over McDaniels. And McDaniels has been in this offense since 2012. It's been 10 years he's been in this offense. They didn't give him we don't have a real replacement this time. We had Bill O'Brien when he left the first time in 2009, I believe, to go to the Denver Broncos. Bill O'Brien was already there waiting, and we got him. Then Bill O'Brien went to coach Penn State, I think, in 2012, and McDaniels was there waiting when he ultimately failed in Denver. This time is not the same. And the third thing, I completely forgot because I've held it for like 6 minutes, and we've been talking about all this for so long, I forgot. So I'm going to leave y'all to ponder on that because people got things to do. This show was absolutely magnificent.
Oh, it was great.
I thank all you guys for being part of this. I thank Tommy for setting this all up, period. Thank you very much. And Long Beach, dude, come back often as possible.
Yeah, you brung it, man.
Yeah.
You brung it.
Yeah,
You brung wisdom. I love it, man. I love it. I told you, Joe, we would debate, but it's all friendly. It's all friendly here, man. Ain't nothing
Listen,
here getting nasty. We all and we have a great chat, by the way. We got awesome people coming in. They don't they're not that kind of. Joe was a little worried. I'm gonna throw that out here. Joe was a little worried at first.
He was
like,
no.
I'm going into the Lions den with these damn Patriots and cocky Bills fans and these Dolphins fans. And I said, Joe, you're good.
Yeah, thank you. I was just, because some people do a lot of cursing and they get crazy, and that's all I asked Tommy about was, hey, is this like, because people get a little weird. We all know. But yeah, I'm I'm here to debate. I love talking football with everybody. And again, Tommy, Sports Dynasty, Captain D. Listen, thank y'all for having me on. I'm gonna come back as much as I can. My schedule's crazy.
You're busy, man.
But I love the debate, and I love going back and forth, and I love the just being able to sit back and have respectful discussion, passionate discussion about football. So that's what I'm all about. So salutes to all of the viewers as well. I really enjoy. Everybody watching too.
All right. Thank you for having me on Sports Dynasty. The chat was on fire. It was great. Tommy, thank you for everything. It was awesome. Long Beach Joe, I can't wait to do more with you. This was great. Everything was awesome. Hey, good luck. Good luck to Sports Dynasty, but not good luck. We got this tomorrow.
I'm about to say, I ain't that nice. I ain't wishing you nothing.
Oh man.
I hope Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill catches a quick cramp. I can't play the rest of the game.
Oh my God.
I'm not nice like that. You're the enemy. Otherwise, yeah. But with that all said, this show was great. I thank you guys for coming in. Scott, you've been killing it in the chat. Thank you very much for going absolutely insane in the chat today. You're always awesome. We appreciate you very much. The links for everybody's info is in the description below. Please click and subscribe. If you don't, there's something wrong with y'all because these guys are all wonderful.
Oh, by the way, too, next week, everybody, we're going to be on Captain D's premiere of the AFC Shakedown. This is his first live show. So, Captain D, bring it. Better bring it.
Yeah, man. It's on you. The pressure's on you, just like the pressure's on your team tomorrow, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, baby.
With that all said, we love y'all. What's the word phrase you always say?
Peace, love, and applesauce. And we'll see you guys soon, all right? We appreciate you all. Thank you.
We
go
are
Bills. Go Bills. I thought you were saying go Bills, but all right.
No. We don't do that here. No, sir.
Go Jets.
Go Bills.